Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray,
Hello.
Sean Bell,
Hello.
and James Farley's here to give his sideways look at the gaming industry. Hi, James.
You know it, Dave. You know it.
Yeah.
Hang on, we
yeah,
need
what's-
to. I know people hate it when we talk about things we can see with our eyes. James, what was going on with the glass then?
What do you mean?
You looked like you took a sip and then you were like,
No, I was gonna drink some water,
Right.
but then I didn't know what order David was gonna do it in.
I
So then I
see.
thought
No.
I better not
How-
do it now.
How do you
because-
not know what order it's going to be in? Over the past 6 weeks, it's been exactly the same, always the same.
I don't know. You thought you might mix it up a bit. You know, you do
No,
sometimes.
No. I'm going to roll out that gag as much as
Never
I
changes.
can.
Never changes.
We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Gordon Garrow, Safe as Records, Sam Higton, Tom S, Ryan Cobain, Yul McCall, Stan, Philip with an F, and Fred Fenge. They're the Full Nels crew, and you can support the show by going Full Nels or by simply going patreon.com/TCGS and signing up to one of the tiers we have on offer for you. And boy, are there some tiers. If you are on any tier of our Patreon, is that right? We haven't got anything lower than the podcast here, right, Matt? I
think
don't
so.
actually know.
I think there is like a $2 tier.
Okay, right. Well, if you're on the tier where you get the bonus pod, you've been treated to a very extra special bonus pod this week. Free of charge. We're not upping your tier for that. You get to hear the behind the scenes look at the Independent Podcast Awards, where we recorded throughout the evening and the next morning, little bits and pieces from our time at the Independent Podcast Awards. If you didn't see the results of that, we won. We won the Independent Podcast Award.
We are
Don't
the
look it up.
greatest.
Don't look it up.
Do
Just
not Google
that's
it.
the news.
No need.
We
No
are
need
the
to
best.
Google it. Just trust
we
us.
Are the best. No. We lost. We lost. But it was okay.
we didn't
because
lose. We were,
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I
runners
don't
up.
like that language. Not we didn't
Yeah.
lose, we just didn't win.
Failed to win.
We didn't
That's
lose.
not what you were saying after the.
Come on, we're a bunch of
Second
losers.
place is the
Yeah,
first.
we are a
loser.
bunch of
Speak
losers.
for yourself, James.
James, how sad was that flight home to Germany the next morning?
It was I had a massive headache as well, so it was kind of.
Did he?
I
Why?
wonder why.
It was.
Was it
Bit,
because
bit
you've done-
dehydrated.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, what from all those chips that you stole off everyone else?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
We
fucking
didn't
hell,
talk
James.
about that, did we? We
You're
failed to
about
mention
40
it.
quid over from McDonald's.
we had McDonald's on the way home. James ordered just a
Well,
burger, but
I was
then
gonna
just
say, we's a
decided
bit
to take.
rich.
Well, because the
take
best,
all of
the
our
best bit of that
chips.
was about halfway through the awards ceremony. James tapped my arm. He's like, "Sean, what? I want some chips."
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
And that was when the conversation of we should get some food after this started. And then James was the only one of us who didn't get any fucking chips.
I honestly, when I did that order, I don't know. I didn't even know what I ordered. Honestly,
just-
You kept looking at me saying, David, my number is 007, like James Bond, like James Bond. It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
But we do want to say congratulations to the Apocalypse players, and it was brilliant meeting
Do we?
Gaming the System. Yes, we do.
Oh,
See,
really?
right, okay, this is it, right? So when we were in we didn't talk about this on the bonus show, so we could talk about it here. After it got announced that the Apocalypse players won the award, Matt, and it was the after party, wasn't it? They tweeted to say double award winners because they won 2 awards that night. And Matt turned around to me and said, I really want to retweet with a grow up. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought, yeah, it's funny. Why not? Yeah, do it. It's really funny. Retweet that with. And it wasn't until the next morning when they hadn't responded to that I thought, oh, yeah, if you don't know
Yeah.
what we're like, then maybe you just think that was a really shitty tweet that we
Yeah.
did.
Maybe, yeah.
So I DM'd them from our account saying, look, hey, congratulations, we're really happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And then they replied, and at the end of it put, never grow up. And I thought, oh my God. So then I went inside myself going, no, does that mean that they did get it or that they didn't?
I think that
does
means they did.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
that's
it means
like
it
a.
did
It was
as
a,
well,
there
but
was an emoji at the end. It was like a wink
Yeah.
and a nod. Like
there was an
There's an emoji at the end
that
that
always
can't
helps.
possibly have intended any harm.
no,
No,
just
no,
like
no.
when I said grow up and put an emoji at the end. so
Exactly.
protects you from anything really.
Yeah, it's a shield.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
did the rolly eyes emoji.
Yeah, the rolly
most
eyes, yeah.
passive aggressive emoji there is.
it's
Actually,
good,
that's the
isn't it?
second most passive aggressive. The other one is the thumbs up.
Oh yeah, that is the worst. Yeah, that one I would never have done that.
But also, as I said, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to Game in the System, the feminist gaming podcast, which you should definitely check out. We met them in the pub before, and
Yeah,
really
that was
lovely
awesome.
people over there.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Yeah.
And respect to what they're doing. So go and check out the other podcast, the other losers and the winner. Go and check them out. The Apocalypse Players, by the way, is like a role playing board game style podcast.
We kept on the night. We kept saying it was a D&D one. No, it's a Call of Cthulhu live play.
I don't even know what that is. What about
It
that?
still involves dice, though, doesn't it?
It doesn't.
Sure.
Does it? I assume it involves.
I'm
dice,
sure it
yeah.
involves dice and cards. Like it's definitely got.
All right, James, we're trying to act like we're being humble. Let's not get spiteful again. Let's not get spiteful unless there's an emoji
Rise
involved.
above it.
We also have some big news to announce. Some big news that we're very excited to announce. That on Saturday, the 11th of November at 9 p.m. we will be hosting a charity stream over at twitch.tv/TCGSco. And it's all in aid for See Ability. I'm wearing a t-shirt for those watching on YouTube.
Don't
for those
do a
listening
visual
to the podcast.
joke.
Just
Yeah, everyone hates
write us a
that.
little shitty message.
I don't care. It's for charity. Don't mention it.
Yes. See Ability are a charity that focuses on support for people who have learning disabilities or autism who also might have sight loss. They're an incredible organisation
So is
who
this
help.
a script?
You can,
or
you can see he's reading off the screen. Look,
Can we do once more with
Even though
feeling,
it was
please?
good.
Because this is a joke.
it was
I
very
hate
natural. It was good.
doing this stuff.
Did you
I
script the
hate
gag
doing
as well?
this stuff. What?
Did you script the joke as well, like earlier on?
Would you? Yeah, I mean the whole podcast is scripted. It's only you
Yeah.
that goes off script, James, because
Yeah.
you can't be bothered to read it. I hate reading this stuff. I just shut up, leave me alone, just for 2 minutes.
Well, just start again from the top.
No, they're an incredible organisation who help with forming friendships, relationships, and support in finding employment. We're joining their Game for Change campaign, and you can do too, running from the 3rd to the 12th of November. I can see your faces, and it's really
So
putting
yeah,
me
so
off.
he started.
Right.
Already
Okay. Well, I'm
started.
just going to do that. Running from the 3rd to the 12th of November. You can take part anywhere. Just set yourself a gaming challenge and a GoFundMe page to help support See Ability. For more information, visit www.seeability.org. Sean,
Yeah.
we've announced the stream,
Mm.
but what are we streaming?
Well, people love it when we have a competition. And
Oh, are you reading that? You reading this? Is that what you've
Nope.
read?
No, that sounded very natural, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
Great script.
Now, what I'm going to do is
Sorry.
now I'll just go.
Hang on. People love it when we game competitively.
But obviously, we thought it'd be weird to do a charity stream with something that was violent. So instead,
Yeah.
I
Boo.
bullied the others into a session of Come Mine With Me, which is the Come Dine With Me mod for Minecraft, where within Minecraft, we each have to prepare and then carry out a dinner party for the other three, just like the show. And it's going to be, it might be really weird.
How will this work?
Well,
How
this
long
is
is it going
what
to take?
fascinated me
do all this stuff in
about this
Minecraft.
mod, right? Because there was a trailer for it about a year ago or something, and
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, that sounds amazing, but surely, like, how does any of that work? It literally works how you would imagine it would, right? And like, there's different dishes you can cook. You have to go to a shop, buy the ingredients, and like.
So can I like go to a shop and buy some carrots and stuff,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah,
make something?
You could do
yeah,
that.
And
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
recipes
yeah,
to follow
yeah.
and stuff.
Look forward
Yeah,
to
I said to
James's carrot
Sean,
soup.
Can we just have a night where we just at least see what the mechanics were? And
Yeah.
Sean said, "Yeah, but the main thing you need to know is the basic Minecraft stuff." And I was like, I only played this for like a week when it first went to early access. I don't
the
know what
basics,
I'm
it's fine.
walking into.
And basically the whole, like, obviously part of it is, if you want, you've got to do something to entertain your guests, haven't you? You can't just
I've
serve
got
them
my
dinner.
idea.
So
Yeah, I've got a good one.
Yeah, I think
I
it
bet
could
we've all got
be-
the same idea. I
Yeah,
bet
okay,
we've all
right.
got the same idea.
Should we
Does
do
yours
one,
also
two?
involve
Should we do
fire?
1, 2, 3? Say it. Yeah. Should we say it at the same time?
Oh, go on.
No, because
Oh.
then it reveals what we've got.
Yeah, it might
planned.
spoil it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as we're all
Were you going to
preparing,
shout swinging?
we can
I
like.
was going to do 1, 2, 3 hand jobs. Hopefully we all said it.
Supposed to be keeping it clear. Well, we said no violence. I suppose.
I mean, that is also show title. That 1, 2, 3 hand jobs.
Yes.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Would iTunes censor that?
Yes,
I don't
it
know.
is, James.
Um,
Yes, no, we're okay with that.
So yeah,
I can't
basically,
I can't see Seeability retweeting the episode.
it's a good point. People in the chat are asking. So you can build your. There's like pre-made buildings you can choose from, or you can make something yourself. It's entirely up to you. I think for the sake of keeping it, entertaining, we probably won't build our own stuff. I don't know. We're gonna have a play with it before we do it, and then see what we think. But,
and see what we can do.
Well, I haven't. No, but can we? I mean, again, I haven't actually started using the mod yet. But can I? The mod uses your own kind of existing world in Minecraft, right? So if we want to, we could.
No, it's all its
like
own.
a totally.
No, it
map.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go and
you
I
need
can
to-
build a house now,
No.
ready for it.
No,
Cheating.
it's really weird because it took me ages to realise what to do. It starts you off on like this panel above a village. And
Yeah.
what I didn't realise is that you can't just play it on your own. So we had to go split screen. So I'm trying to get off this little like platform going, what the fuck is going on? And it wasn't until Harry
You
joined
shouldn't have
me
started on the
that I
platform.
was
It should
able
start
to-
you in like a building where you choose
Oh,
some
no,
options and
started
stuff.
me on a little
Just
platform and then you
start in a
drop down.
Minecraft
that.
supermarket.
Yeah.
Probably that
With
explains why
30
you're a
quid
bit
budget.
bewildered.
See,
But
like,
yeah,
I
no, you
started-
literally
Have
have
I
like
bought
a
the
set
wrong
amount of
one?
money and there's like shops you have to go to and stuff. It's good.
Yeah, have I bought the wrong one? That's the concern there. I've got a feeling
You might have
I've
just
bought
started it in the wrong
one.
mode or something. Anyway, we'll figure
Right,
it out.
okay. Okay. So that's seeability.org for all information on the charity that we will be supporting. And it's Saturday, the 11th of November at 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/TCGSCO. Please come. Please help support the charity. And let's make this a successful night, because if this goes down well, we'll do more. We'll do more. How about that? We will do
That'd be lovely.
more.
Yeah, if you
'Cause
don't
do we-
normally
do we
watch
have
the
to-
streams, come along. And if you do, please come along. All the
Yeah.
same.
Do we have to set a goal in terms of funding? Because we've never done anything like this.
£1 million.
Well, I mean, obviously
Yep.
not that, obviously, but I don't know what our clout is when
Why
it
not
comes to
that?
charity stuff. I'm looking forward to.
Well, we're going to
Finding
set the bar
Yeah.
this Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah.
40,000 million
£100.
pounds.
Let's say
£100.
Let's no higher than that, Matt.
£101.
Don't stop taking the piss.
It is high, it is higher.
£102.
Let's get to the feedback, Matt. Let's get to the feedback.
£100,000.
Right. Okay, these are jokes that Austin Powers was making. Do you know what I mean? We can't
And they're
go
still
back
good.
to this.
They
They're
haven't
still
aged today.
great. They still
Like every joke in Austin Powers hasn't aged today.
no.
I tell you about when we went to a fancy dress party once, and my brother dressed as Austin Powers, but he just kept going around putting no effort into the catchphrase, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Austin Powers walking up to you and going, $100 million, baby, yeah, and then walking off.
Shagadelic,
Die
baby, yeah.
laughing. Yeah, shagadelic.
James, have you ever said the word shagadelic, baby? Yeah.
I do on occasion.
Do you want
On
to say
occasion,
that?
so, yeah.
When something's shagadelic.
Yeah, when something is particularly shagadelic,
What
I will
is
say that. Yeah.
what do you define as shagadelic, James?
I mean, the award show was pretty shagadelic.
It
I would have
was,
to say.
to be
Yeah,
fair.
you wouldn't stop saying that. I was like, thank God there's no
That's probably why we
speeches,
didn't
because that
win.
would be really embarrassing.
Yeah.
James had to wear Sean's jeans because he
Oh yeah,
took his own jeans into the shower by
need-
accident.
We don't need to go into that.
to the shower.
I did
That was in
not
the
take them
bonus
into
pod,
the shower. That
James,
shower was
clothes
awful.
off, then turn shower on. Don't turn shower on, then
James'
turn clothes
defense,
off.
that shower was fucking mental.
It was.
It was
Okay, mate,
absolutely
this is ridiculous.
bizarre.
Let's get to the feedback. Let's
I
start the show
was
properly.
vindicated by your
We're
message. Sean. I
quarter
felt quite
of an
good about
hour
that.
in and we're not at
Hardly.
feedback. Let's get to feedback. Come on.
Okay. What if you had both made that mistake? That's what would have.
Right.
You know.
Nearly
Matt,
did.
You're McCool. Fellow gaming dudes, I've been listening from way back in 2019 when I was living abroad. James, I feel all your pain. And when I first got a dog and started daily walks for hours on end. I'm glad that I found your podcast. I'm lucky I called them computer games too, or my Spotify search may have never led me to you. Last week, you talked about if you've ever or will ever stop playing games for a period of time. Way back when, I had the opportunity to travel, and it kickstarted 5 years of backpacking and living in a fairly unscrupulous life, to say the least. Enough on that. Anyway, my point is that I didn't play games in my usual manner at the time. However, now when I look back at the games that came out during that period with a little FOMO, Sure, I can go back and play them, but excitement of getting caught up in it all with everyone else at the time won't be there. As for playing when I'm older, I'm 38, and the way I see it, our generation was the first generation of gamers. They don't make games for the elderly because the elderly don't want to play games. Fast forward 40 years, if we're still alive and we'll be the elderly and we will play games, meaning there will be a market and developers will have a reason to make games for us. Games specifically designed for elderly people with slower reflexes. I hope this is the case. A little less sonic and a little more lethargic. Anyway, dudes, thanks for the content. As I'm fond of a drink or two, I guess my favourite host is the biggest pisshead among you. I'll let you decide that. Until next time, you're McCule, pronounced McCall, but I'm happy with how Dave says it too. So it's Yule McCall.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, we questioned that when that name come in, and then we thought Yule, yeah, but Yule McCall, right? We got that. Well, thanks for getting in touch and letting us know. I mean, you paint a very depressing elderly life, but
I mean, I would challenge the assumption that old people don't want to play games. Definitely, some of them do, but yeah, it's going to increase, right, as sort of our generation ages up.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be interesting. But I think there's already plenty of games that, like don't rely on reflexes.
Yeah, like brain training.
Yeah. No, that's
Call
of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
I'm too old for brain training.
That requires a lot of reflexes.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
Fuck Ikaruga. Get on brain training, mate.
Rocket League. Okay.
Right. Geen, dearest TCGS crew, I've been meaning to share this Phil Fish story with the pod ever since I heard Shaw mention him a few months back. I played Fez during its first public showing at PAX East 2011. The entire time, a gangly man watched me, but I didn't pay him much mind. I played for about 5 minutes, flopped the controller onto a table and muttered to myself, "This is what we've been waiting years for," before wandering away. Flash forwards a few years and I'm sitting in a theatre watching Indie Game the movie, and Phil Fish is talking about his first public showing. At PAX East 2011, at a booth that I instantly recognised, I suddenly connect with the gangly man who he was and burst into a mad laughing fit. Truly, I am the asshole. From Geen. That is great.
Amazing.
Origin story right there.
Story.
Poor Phil Fish.
Poor Phil Fish. Poor Geen.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping there'll be a section in the game the movie where it actually shows Geen saying, "This is what we were waiting for," and
Phil Fish kicks off about the prick who seemed unimpressed and walked off after
cuts to him crying backstage.
It was a weird period, wasn't it? Like when the documentaries were coming out and all that sort of stuff, it just seemed like the indie scene, there's not an indie scene like there was back then, and there is. It's just not based around some very recognisable figures like it was back then. Yeah, that was a strange period, wasn't it?
It definitely feels like it's become less about like personalities, as it were.
That's probably a good thing, though.
Probably
because,
a good
like,
thing.
of those, so like the three, well, I suppose no, there's 4 of them, I guess. Really, so obviously you had Phil Fish, you had Jonathan Blow, James's best mate, and then Team Meat, which is obviously Ed McMillan and Tommy Reffiners. I don't know what Tommy's up to now. But, I mean, the two of them seem to have split. So, like, Team Meat now doesn't include Ed McMillan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Phil Fish seems really sound now. But obviously, after Fez came out, he had a period of kind of being a bit of a jerk and sort of.
Well, that's it. I just think it's some people
Jonathan
that
Blow,
weren't expecting
weird anti-vaxxer, etc. It's
it's some people that weren't expecting to be thrust into the limelight that were thrust in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sometimes you look at it's strange, and because they're not going into it prepared to be put on a pedestal the way they were, some people aren't going to cope with it. It's a really like strange. You know, when you've got a big company, you've got someone who is severely media trained and vetted throughout the process to be put in front of the cameras and in front of the press and that. Whereas that didn't happen in the early stages of the indie scene, and that made some wild, kind of sad actually. You know, because all right, it's easy for us to sit aside and say, "Oh yeah, that guy was a prick," and he probably was. There's no like getting around that. But also, I don't think you don't choose to go out there and say all these things that everyone hangs on to. You know,
certainly back then, any one of us put under that microscope would have suffered for it. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've never seen the Indie Game movie. Never seen
Oh,
it.
it's great.
It is really good. Obviously, watching it now, you just be like, "Why is this a bunch of white lads?" Not that we can talk, obviously, but it's like they should do it again, but like just make it a bit broader this time, like because it is just a really good story or series of stories being told. It's really nice.
Yeah, I wonder if we like watching it now. When does
It's reconnected. It's
Alright.
everything's fine. Carry on.
Okay, like it never happened.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, one sec. Sorry, I'm getting bombarded with messages. You could
Well, we're
probably
at
see
work,
why
David.
in the WhatsApp. I know, but can you see why in the WhatsApp group someone in particular is going nuts on a bit of information that they have discovered?
Oh, shame. Yep.
Yeah. So it's okay. Right, so we are back. Right.
We are
Okay.
back.
That's
Right,
weird.
That
isn't
wasn't
it?
a
What
crash.
this?
That was just a rat. It just said it's lost network.
Oh,
for
it's
some
just a
reason,
little
so-
blip, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Right. So let me do the trumpet again, so we
Yes.
can pick up from there. We've not done one of these for a while, so if we could all just be quiet because you deserve a little trumpet. It's been a while. Ready? And
Beautiful.
next bit of feedback.
Dwayne Jones, feedback. All the recent talk of gaming with parents took me back to my first memory of gaming. 1980, little 5-year-old Dwayne awoke on Christmas morning to be presented with the Atari 2600 Woody that I'd circled in the catalogue. The game
Really?
I was desperate to play was Space Invaders. Our local sports centre had the arcade machine, and I was obsessed with the idea of being able to play it at home, which made me giddy. Anyway, we set it up, and my dad and I grabbed the classic one-button red joystick, stuck the cartridge in, and I was going to teach him a lesson. He then proceeded to absolutely wipe the floor with me for an hour, no quarters given. As an ex-professional sportsman, the idea of letting me win just didn't enter his head. Turns out my parents had bought the Atari in October, and every night after I'd been sent to bed, he got the Atari out, hooked it up, and played it for hours just to make sure it was
Yes.
working, in inverted commas. It took me 42 years to get my revenge when, while I was playing Forever Bowling on the Quest 2, I left him run into a wall. Hope it was worth it, Dad.
Yeah, no, I had a similar situation where my dad got my Xbox modded for me. He got a Yoda box done for me.
Yeah.
So I woke
Oh,
up
is that,
one morning.
is that the police? Hello.
My Xbox was
Well, you
gone.
have to arrest both of us, mate, because I had one and all. It was
Oh, great game
Yeah.
for the police.
What are you going to do? Arrest all of us? Two of us?
All
You
two
go
of us,
arrest
yeah.
two
Yeah,
of us,
it's
are
for
you?
me and
and we're in
James.
different
Oh,
places.
James,
so...
did you have a Yoda box?
I did not know.
Good.
Okay, yeah,
James and I are
absolute
staying on you two going to
What
prison.
a square! What a square! It's the I woke up one morning and the Xbox was gone. Then for Christmas I got the Yoda box, loaded it up. All the games had fucking saves on them. All the games I wanted to play, they all had saves on them. It was like, well, I had to check it worked. I was like, well, really?
Every
On
game?
all of these games? Yeah,
500
yeah.
games? Every single name on the
Similar.
scoreboard?
Similar. Next bit of feedback, please.
Similar story, yes. Mickey Disco. Hey, gang, just a quick note from the future. I'm on the other side of 50 and was interested to hear your discussion about gaming time as you get older. I have 3 kids from 9 to 17, and I found that I've adapted over time to fit games into how we interact. I still play Ultimate Chicken Horse and Duck Game with the youngest and her friends before school. I sit for long hours making impossible dream islands with the middle one in Minecraft and Stardew Valley, and as my eldest has moved to more passive consumption of games, I've become her real world streamer. She loves horror games, but doesn't have the inclination or motivation to play them herself. Instead, we sit together for an hour every night, and I play horror games for her as we listen to music and chat while generally laughing at the game. We have run through all the Supermassive games, all the Resident Evils, Dead Space, Alien Isolation, and we're now on to Alan Wake.
That's
It's my
brilliant.
favourite time.
No,
and
no,
it gives us-
really. Like
class.
this is
Yeah, I love that.
beautiful.
Yeah. Love that.
It's my favourite time, and it gives us something to do together as we inevitably move in different directions. This is a bittersweet time for us. This is a bittersweet time for me. She's off to university next year, but we will always have this
man.
time thanks to social elements of game broadcast and other media. I still have hope that this will continue on a weekly basis in the future. I think just making it fit into your life and always making it meaningful is the answer to keeping gaming there over time. Oh, and on a personal note, I've started a PhD in games as a service, so that's how I justify playing Destiny at lunchtime on a Tuesday. Not an option for everyone, but needs must. Thanks for being there. In the same way my daughter can take comfort in knowing games bring us closer together, you do the same every Wednesday. Much love
Ah,
and thanks,
That's brilliant.
Mickey Disco.
That's really kind. Thanks, Vicky.
Mickey Disco, thank you so much. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And I think I don't know about you. It sounds like it, Sean, but you're probably experiencing this for the first time with Isaac when it comes to Mario Wonder. Are you playing it separately, or are you still playing co-op?
Well, so what we're doing now is he's now playing Mario Wonder on his Switch, and I'm playing other stuff on the telly. And it's really nice. Because we'll just sort of occasionally he'll want to show me a bit that he's doing, or he'll take interest in what's on the telly, and we'll talk about that for a bit, and then there might be 20 minutes where we don't talk at all, and that's fine. And it's really nice. Yeah,
it's cool. Like Harry is obviously a bit older, and he's getting better at video games and stuff, and he's right at the end of Mario Wonder. He's about to see he is about to see credits on that game, so he's ahead of me. Joe was like, is this the first time he's going to complete a game before you? And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure he's done that before. But yeah, he just sat there watching me play Mario Wonder for a while the other day, and just like biting his lip because he didn't want to spoil it, but also you're missing the Wonder Seed, Dad. So yeah, no, it's been class. I love it. There's nothing better, man. There is nothing better than sitting playing video games with your kids. It's even the crap ones. I still appreciate
even the crap kids.
Game,
even the crap kids. Yeah. Oh, it's coming out tonight, isn't it? The Trumpet.
Trumpet. Right, Moley. Hey guys, just want to say I empathise with Matt and the listener who wrote in about not having enough time to game. I've been trying to make a career change this year, and with my non-negotiable exercise and sleep schedule, I've been struggling to fit any real time into games. I've only managed to put about 10 hours into Baldur's Gate since I bought it, and it pains me. Here's hoping that we all get that free time back to play games soon. Also, there's been lots of talk of cutting down on the swearing recently. It's fine, guys. You're an adult podcast. We don't want you to become as dry as Kane and Rince. Sorry for the long one. Keep up the good work. Always look forward to Wednesday mornings because of you. P.S. Sean, you live on the edge of the Peak District. Stop saying there's nowhere nice to go. Lol.
Yeah, I've got a point.
I know what you're saying with the swearing stuff, but sometimes I do listen to myself and just go, "What? Just shut up. There are other words to use." It's like it's such a a needless fuck put in there. That's the episode title. Every now and then, and I just think you're an idiot. Just grow up. But you're absolutely right. This is an adult show, so we can say whatever the hell we want.
Whoa, okay, let's steady on. Oods, hey guys, I really enjoy listening to the pod and appreciate the effort to avoid spoilers. However, while dodging spoilers such as the animation that Mario does when he goes down a pipe, we appear to have stepped into the biggest spoiler of all: Married at First Sight. Maths. As an avid watcher, I feel like it's been spoiled in the weirdest of places by Dave. No, you don't like anyone from the show. You can sleep easy. Keep up the good work for Moods.
What did I spoil from Married at First Sight?
You must have said
The fact
something.
that they're not actually getting married.
Well, a few weeks ago we talked about you supposedly looking like that guy.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think I said like, oh no, hasn't he been kicked off because he punched someone? Which I guess.
Oh right, that was
quite
you.
a significant spoiler.
Right, okay, yeah. No, that was it was Sean Bell then that spoiled it. But absolute disgrace, Sean.
Yep.
Do you want to apologise now?
Nah, I'm good.
On that note, Matt, Joe said to me last night, should we watch The Office all the way through again?
Wow.
And then lead up to the Christmas special.
Oh,
And I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Fucking hell yes.
No, she's not watched it for a long, long time, right? She doesn't watch it when I rewatch it. And she had that moment that Sean had when he watched it for the first time, when she was going, "You say that all the time, don't you, Dave?" and that, and that. What the fuck? What
is going on?
Oh, you do prefer flan. Okay. I thought you just commenting on my cooking.
Yeah, it was the one that really blew our mind is when he drops the telephone and he goes, that is fine, that one. She was just like, what is going on?
Put it in a waste paper basket. Oh. Fired.
Yeah, okay.
Practical jokes for the good. We're going with Scott. Thank you for the chat about games and... Sorry, Jesus Christ. Thank you for the chat about dads and gaming last week. My dad passed away a couple of months ago, and some of the fondest moments I've been reflecting on have been gaming related. He programmed my first computer, a Spectrum 128K plus 2, to display a flashing Christmas message for me when I came downstairs in the morning. We spent many a night playing Micro Pro's golf together on the entire ST, and we all chuckled at him steering Gran Turismo by leaning in his chair with a controller left and right like he was under attack in the Starship Enterprise. Yes, sometimes playing a game with your children can be frustrating, to say the least, but it provides them with memories of you that will endure forever.
Fuck
lovely.
you,
Thanks,
Scott.
So thanks a bunch, Scott.
Literally that close to just bursting into tears on a podcast. I've never cried on a podcast.
Yeah, that
I
was
don't
a bit.
think.
That's
That got me, Scott. Man, I'm totally thinking of you.
man.
I hope you're doing okay. But those memories are unbelievably good to hear.
What's the modern equivalent of the Merry Christmas message on the Spectrum thing?
Cameo.
Yeah. Getting
Cameo
them
from
to do
Mr.
it,
Beast.
Oh, the future's rubbish. It's just clipped. finally.
You know, it's like, because I said before, we got a cameo for the kids from Zach Scott, their favourite YouTuber. And, you know, he's got like millions of followers. He's not as well, like, commonly known. The name's not commonly known. I've genuinely got tears in my eyes. And, like, it's not as big as, like, Mr. Beast or whatever. Proper put the effort in with his one. Like, proper went through everything and was, like, really...
Got the
But then
names
you see-
right.
You see some of them, and they're just like literally just reading out like the thing is so
That's true.
bad.
This is why we had that with Brian, like Brick Show Brian, who like
Brick
wrote
Show
who did
Brian,
that thing
yeah.
for Asher,
Yeah.
where he just like, and he did a whole thing about like, you know, I know you've moved like countries, and you know, hope it's going to be all right, and all this kind of thing. I was like, oh, he has put a lot of effort in here. It's great.
Right.
just thought
so
I do need to
when we
start-
do cameo,
Yeah. When?
when we do cameo, Sean,
Yeah.
we've got to put a little bit of effort in. That's
Well,
the,
no,
that's
kidding.
the
Every
I
time.
thought that was the retirement plan.
I was going to say. We've mentioned this at least a couple of times. This time, most years or the last couple of years, we're like, James, why don't we'll start cameo? James does it as a Christmas message to, like, you know, the fans. Perfect little Christmas present for people.
I'm
no,
not doing that.
Well, I
come on,
was gonna
James.
say, 'cause I need
This
to.
must be the third year we've asked you.
This
not
has reminded me. I need to think about what I'm doing with the elves this year. I don't know if we mentioned this on the main show. If this was bonus show stuff, you know, we do the elf on a shelf thing, but then last year we got the wrong elf out by accident. And Isaac twigged, so then we had to create a narrative that actually.
What do you mean the
Yeah,
wrong one?
So yeah, we've got two fucking elves. I don't know.
Right.
I'm so glad we never do this. This
Yeah.
sounds
Oh,
like a
Well,
Yeah,
and
I-
so
absolute-
now we had
enjoyed
to, we
it,
had
I
to craft
enjoyed
a narrative about why we've been sent the wrong elf, but now we've got to have two of them. Anyway, so the point is, so at halfway through every December, the elves go away for a couple of days, and that's them reporting back to Santa, and they send Isaac a video, which I do. And last year it was fucking. I had like a green screen and stuff, and a whole setup, and I did like, and they were talking to each other, and they were in Lapland.
This is
I don't
amazing.
know how I'm going to top that. I don't know
it's
what's
tough.
next.
You just kill the. You say I killed the elf.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
they-
getting
they
too.
died.
No, he was getting too bad.
Fell in
so-
the sea.
Yeah.
No, he was
okay.
naughty.
D-
He was
does,
playing by the cliffs.
Does like George Alagaya or Jon Snow do cameos? You could say like breaking news, and it's like
Good shout.
elf
The
dead,
elf on the shelf is dead.
and it's like, oh my god, look at this! Like Isaac, you
Look
see
at
this?
right?
Elf's dead.
Look at,
no.
do you know? Have you noticed how quiet James is? The elf on the shelf is so far away from anything James would do. And I'm
It's
with
true.
you.
We don't have anything like that. No.
I
It's,
am with you. Mate.
I mean-
I am not getting into this.
No, it's fun.
I'm in an
It's a
awkward
bit of fun.
situation as well at the moment because
You say good bit of film. You complain about it every year, Matt. You complain about it every year, legitimately. So don't say
but
it was a
it's
good bit of
I
fun.
don't
not,
genuinely
we're not as
like doing it.
precious as some people are. Where like, you know, the children can't even touch the elf because it breaks the magic. We're like, fuck it, it's in the
Oh, yeah,
toilet, it's
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. Fuck that.
Sorry, James.
no, I'm just saying I'm in a bit of a weird situation with all this because the thing is like Rachel never believed in any of this stuff. Like never.
All right,
did.
let's hold on. Whoa, hold on. We need to be careful because we don't know who's listening.
That's
let's-
fine.
Yeah. Let's move on. This is
Let's-
bonus show material.
No, I know what you're saying. If you got kids about, turn this off, will you? Go on, right? Which you should do anyway.
Jesus.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah,
we
the
have
amount of
been
C words,
swearing
it's ridiculous.
this whole
I
time.
know, yeah.
Is
I know we
is
take
that
the
a
C
spoiler?
words out now,
Seriously?
but come on.
This is a spoiler.
Go on. Go on, what are you saying?
So
Just
I'll have to
whisper
lower
it.
my voice in case he's gone.
Whisper.
So Rachel never believed any of this stuff, like at all.
Never believed in
Never.
what?
You know, in Santa Claus and all that kind of stuff, right?
What do you mean?
What about Santa
What
Claus?
about him? What about him?
Oh, just shut up. Okay.
No,
Wait,
no,
what
no,
do you
no,
mean
no,
never
no, James, I'm
believe?
serious.
That can't be true. Never
Seriously,
believe.
she never seemed bothered at all.
I
about
think
any
that's
of
because
it.
someone failed to create the illusion for
No,
her.
Yeah.
that's not true.
Yeah.
That is not true. We did loads of stuff when she was a kid, like
Right.
all the stuff. But
No.
then
All the
Asher,
stuff.
like
All the
Asher
stuff.
really does. Like he's seriously hardcore, like really believes it and everything.
Mhm.
But it's just a bit awkward because it's like we still do all the stuff, and she's all just like I'm having to say to her all the
I
time.
love to know
like,
what the stuff
just
is you're doing.
Don't say anything.
Surely
about
she.
this.
I know they clash and stuff. They're siblings, but surely she loves him enough to be like, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
just play
she-
along.
Yeah.
I think she's got it in her back pocket.
Okay.
You know, like,
I mean, so have I.
Alright.
So have I.
It's like me
how
with
old
what
Ash?
James said in the on the bus. Like it's exactly the same thing.
How old's Asher?
Yeah, no,
It's 10. Yeah.
yeah. Harry
Which
tapped
is-
out this year.
It's just weird, isn't it? Because obviously they must reach an age where you're like, oh, well, surely they're going to figure it out. But then also that sort of makes it more precious if they do still buy into it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes,
Eddie worked. Eddie
Not
worked
if
out
they're
like 3 or 4
28.
years ago. It was way too soon. Yeah.
Well, okay,
29.
well,
Ash is like, hey.
Sonia,
this is a
56.
scary.
Come on.
Yeah, this is a scary sort of ground we're treading on now. So should we move on?
Yes.
Yeah,
Still don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, if you want to leave us feedback, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs.
Let's get to the news. James Farley, what have you got
Okay.
for us?
Well, Bungie has been in the news quite a lot this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, probably like a massive Destiny update or something big.
Yeah,
Good stuff, yeah.
Loads of really good stuff. So they announced layoffs last week, and so they've laid off around, according to Bloomberg, they've laid off around 100 people, which is about 8% of their workforce.
This was really rough because this seemed to be spread across the whole studio, didn't
Yeah.
it? Not just, it was very wide. These job losses.
And then this was apparently because revenue was 45% below projections, and Destiny 2 is not. It doesn't seem to be as popular as it was, and because pre-orders for the next expansion are apparently not very high at all, and the remake for Marathon is also being delayed. But Bungie made a statement. They said, "We want to acknowledge the feedback and concerns you have about Lightfall and recent seasons, as well as your responses to the reveal of the final shape. We know that we have lost a lot of your trust. Destiny needs to surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and that's going to change. To us, the path forward is clear. We need to make the final shape an unforgettable Destiny experience. We want to build something that will be regarded alongside the best games we've ever made, a fitting culmination that honours the journey we've been on together for the past 10 years. Forsaken, the Witch King, and the Taken King, these are the standard bearers we aim to live up for." So they made this statement, but then also people have criticised the CEO, which is Pete Parsons, who made like this public statement about the layoffs. But he kind of worded it as if he hadn't really had anything to do with it.
Yeah,
And
that's really weird.
Which was really strange. It kind of made out that it was, I don't know, I think he was kind of trying to hint that this had come from Sony or whatever, but then it turns out that it wasn't. It was Bungie themselves had chosen, had made these decisions. So it was a bit weird.
Sony, yeah, there's the whole thing about that they don't. Is it that they don't actually own Bungie, but they are? The ownership is weird. It's not like a flat out buyout, was it?
I thought it
Was
was.
it not? Yeah, I thought it was.
No,
Yeah, I thought it was on for
Okay.
like. Well, okay, I have to do some googling, but I
Yeah, I
something
thought there
else.
was some like they were going to keep them independent or something. I don't know. I
I
think
think
it's
it was just we're not going to interfere with them. Right?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
good. They
this-
can keep it independent, but while still owning them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
it was,
right.
it was
For
like
billions,
we're
didn't
gonna,
they?
there won't be like exclusives on our consoles and all that kind of thing. It was just like, but we own you. But
Okay.
so this statement people were a bit kind of weird about because they were sort of the way he was kind of hinting that he hadn't had anything to do with it.
It
as
was
the
it was
CEO.
very. Oh man, this is so sad that this happened.
Yeah.
As if it was a change in the weather or something, and he was like, oh whoops.
I mean,
Like, it's
people were
bizarre.
posting that the hot dog man meme sort of thing of like we
Oh,
need to
yeah.
find we need to find the
Who did
person who
this.
did this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah.
Very
Yeah.
odd.
Yeah, so Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion or $3.7 billion. Oh, mama.
Okay.
That's a lot of money, isn't it? But
It
yeah,
is a lot
but
of
things it seems to. I mean, Destiny seems to be a bit on a downward.
I mean, the
Yeah, I mean,
the-
there's no surprise. The Destiny 2. When did that officially launch? That was, we're talking, what, 5-6 years ago?
More than that.
It's
I
way
think.
longer
It
than that.
was, wasn't it? It was
Because we're
it was
reaching the
ages
end
ago.
of the 10-year plan. Obviously, Destiny 1 only lasted a couple of years, and then it very quickly sort of got to.
But what was the one that came out this year? The expansion?
Last year was the Witch Queen.
No, this year.
I don't think there's been an expansion this year. There's just been
There has.
more.
There has.
Has there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightfall.
Alright,
that was
Was
Lightfall,
that
yeah.
Aggressive?
Well, it just
No,
shows
but that has.
how...
It's Lightfall. Yeah, and that
Alright.
was just not good, was it?
Well, I didn't even know it
you've
was
got-
out.
you-
So
You've got
Well,
to
yeah,
remember
you
that
played it.
the numbers will be dwindling. The investment will be dwindling. It's gonna. They must be working on their next thing. There's no way that they're just. This is their main thing now. Like it
Well, no,
would just
they-
be
But then-
crazy for a studio.
But then Sony won't have bought them for Destiny 2, will they? They'll
No.
have bought them
No,
for
of
Marathon
course
and presumably numerous other unannounced things. Like obviously
they-
Destiny 2 was winding up.
Mm.
Not
I mean-
not forever, but obviously it's on the wane at this point, which I think is fair. Like considering how long it's been running, and
Yeah, for sure.
and for years there was this question of like, well, where's Destiny 3? And Bungie sort of saying, well, what does that mean? When you look at what Destiny
means a
2
new
launched,
game,
like
Destiny. Why are we having to tell you?
Yeah. Well, like when you look at how Destiny 2 launched and where it is now, is it not basically completely different? And it it's changed substantially. So I get that. I think it's an interesting debate. I'm surprised they didn't just rename it to Destiny and just go,
Yeah,
that was the problem,
Surely
wasn't it?
that's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Matt loves
Um,
that. He loves that so much.
No, but
That's-
he's
Needs
right.
to. Destiny's
He's
a great
right.
brand. It's like Destiny 2 is just called it Destiny, and that's the platform.
Yeah, he's right.
They need to scrap and start from scratch. So not in terms of
What?
like the game itself, but they do. They need to get rid of all of the expansions and all that sort of stuff and say, here's the relaunch.
Well, they've
We
already had a
need
lot
to-
of issues of people saying you're getting rid of too much stuff, so getting rid of all of them
Well, there
would
is that,
really put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, but
Dave's
they've
got a
already
point
done that for
because-
Destiny between Destiny 1 and 2. So I don't see why that after 7-8 years or whatever it's been, that they can't do that again.
But
Like,
some
I
stuff
think
got brought
that's-
back in, and even now people are confused. Like, the reason it's confusing, and the people saying, yeah, it's like overwhelming for like returning fans,
Well, I
new
was going to
fans.
say,
It's like,
Exactly.
yeah.
how
like,
do you? What the fuck is the story? There's like
Yeah.
bits on the
Yeah,
map
you
which like you
scrap
can't
and
even
reboot,
get
you
to.
start again. You do something new with it. Take it in a different direction.
I think they can for Destiny 3, but not now.
Yeah, like
That's what, I'm saying. What do you mean, not now? What
I
does
thought
that
you
mean?
meant like they should start doing it now rather than put a bow on their Destiny 2 done, and then they can totally like start afresh.
Yeah, they need to wrap Destiny 2 up
Yeah.
properly first.
Do they?
Because
Even though that's
there is,
confusing as
because
hell.
there is a story there that millions of people have followed really closely for literally years, and it is a good story as well. But
Apart from Lightfall,
apparently, yeah.
Final
I don't
Shape
know.
has got to deliver big style.
Yes, yeah. And and it's ridiculous because even though I've not really played Destiny for like a year or whatever, there will be part of me that's like it's like the fucking Halo thing. It's like I've got to finish the fight though, haven't I? Got to be there for the last
Exactly, yeah,
bit. Like because of the way Destiny works, like it does essentially act like, if you take a break and then come back, it'll still be like, yeah, but you were there when this other shit happened. It's not like, do you know what I mean? It's still sort of because it's all sort of in real time the way the story works. It's
Right.
like, yeah, my character went on a fucking sabbatical or something for a year, and now I've come back, and I'm still the person who
Had a
did all
gap
these
year.
cool things years ago, right?
It's like John Terry in the Champions League final, showing up at the end and going, "Well, it was planned a couple of weeks ago, so I get to wear the full kit." Okay, well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where Bungie go. I don't know. Soon enough, they need to they need an entry point again for new players. Like the numbers go down and down and down and down. They're not going to go up again. They might go up again a little bit for when they wrap the story up, whatever the story is. But it's not going to be anything compared to, hey, forget all that stuff now. This is the new bit. This is new. The doors are open. You're all starting together.
Yeah, I think when
This
Destiny
is-
3 launches, it's like if they want to do that as like a standalone rather than the platform thing we've already discussed.
Yeah,
It's really
100%.
difficult though, isn't it? Because even if it feels like they've been bought to be a games as a service like provider, basically. Like that's the main reason. But starting up a completely new games as a service thing right now feels like quite a risk.
Not if it's Destiny. That'll be one that has,
What
it's
about
a
Marathon?
series. It's
yeah,
a series
Marathon
and a
as well, yeah.
franchise that has been respected for a games as a service. It was a success as a games for a service game. Like there's no question.
Even
to
like
that.
among people who generally don't like that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Like I said for years, I felt free to dip in and out, and that was
Yeah.
fine for me,
The biggest
but yeah,
problem is for someone
marathons-
like me and most people, they're going to look at Destiny and say, I cannot jump into that in the current state that it's in because I feel completely lost in what that is at the moment. Whereas if they start afresh with Destiny 3 or whatever, there's the starting point. There's a new door, here's a new story, here's a new start. And I would not be playing the next Destiny 2 DLC. I would definitely play Destiny 3 when it comes out. That's that's the difference.
Yeah.
And I think it's the difference for most people. Sorry, Sean, what you saying?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, Marathon is going to be interesting because that's an extraction shooter, which is, the new hotness. But I don't know if that's going to be, if that's still a year or two away, is that going to be too far away?
2025. It's been delayed to 2025 now,
2025,
reportedly. So
I'm quite sad about that. I wish that they'd just make a nice first-person shooter. Yeah.
yeah, but it will be a nice first person. You mean a single-player one?
I mean a single-player one, yeah, because they were great at doing that,
and
but they're not going to.
doing that. Yeah. All right.
Okay. The next story is: have any of you had this advert on Xbox for
Yes.
Modern Warfare 3? Because I
Yeah.
haven't. I didn't get
When
I
this.
haven't
loaded
either.
It up, yeah, it was like a full page thing. It was awful.
So you got this. I didn't get this.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah, I
didn't
haven't
get this.
seen it.
I feel left
So I've
out.
got it. What I find interesting... I mean, I'll let you read the story out first. And then
So people are quite annoyed about this, because the people on the internet, obviously, people are annoyed about this. But so what happens is you boot up, right, and then you get like this big full page
You boot up what? Sorry.
advert, your Xbox Series S or your Xbox Series X. Does this is the same for the Xbox One as well?
You tell us your
Possibly.
news,
I don't know.
Hound.
It's your
It's the
section,
same
James.
OS, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Sounds
It's the same. There you go. So you get an advert, and basically it says you can either fight against the ultimate threat, and then you have the chance to buy the game or get the Vault Edition or exit. But apparently there were similar pop-ups for this.
I love Exit. It's my
for-
favourite game.
Yeah. So yeah, there were similar pop-ups here for Starfield and Forza as well.
Well,
Before
that was
they
what I was
came
going to
out.
say. I don't
Was
like
there?
Call of
Never
Duty.
seen these.
I didn't appreciate this popping up, but also, yeah, it's not the first time this has happened, so I don't see why people are quite so.
So
furious about
where
it.
are you seeing these?
It's not the
on
first time it's happened in gaming either, is it? This was the Wii U speciality.
Yeah, they loved it.
What
Yeah.
was worse is that the Wii U used to just boot itself up and go, look, here's a full
Yeah,
screen
go
ad.
away.
What?
Yeah, it'd be like
What?
make a fucking noise in your living room.
Yeah.
Go, have you
Are you
played-
seeing this
have you
in the
played
store
Pikmin?
or just in on dashboard? Where
No,
are
I
you
just
seeing
I
these?
just explained to you when you boot it up.
Yeah,
that's
on the
what
dashboard.
happens. Yeah.
Literally before you see the dashboard, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to pre-order Modern
Right.
Warfare? No, it's the answer.
Ridiculous.
I do think. I mean, the fact that they've done this several times suggests that maybe it does work. It does feel like it's one of those things that's more likely to make people go like, "Fuck off, get off my telly."
There needs to be an option to turn it off, right?
Yeah.
Is there an option? Has anyone looked into this?
There's
don't
not
know.
no.
Right,
But
there
then
needs to be an
also,
option to turn this off.
but Microsoft love this stuff. I mean, I've heard complaints with Windows 11 that this is a thing. They keep injecting adverts into stuff as well.
I
Is
keep
that
hearing
true?
people say this. I'm using Windows 11 and it hasn't
Mm-hmm.
bothered me, but then maybe I'm just so fucking.
Oh no,
used to
Windows 11's
adverts.
terrible for it. I mean, maybe you can turn it off. I don't know, but we use it at work, and whenever you go to the sort of the Windows button at the bottom, I don't know what's called it, the start button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full of adverts linking to fucking fake articles and all that.
So
sort
I've
of
just
stuff. It's
opened
horrible.
mine. There's literally none. So I don't know
Okay,
if I
there must
might
be a way
have
of
like
turning
a.
that off
But you
then.
run
I was
like
gonna
ad
say,
blockers
I might
and
have a
stuff.
license key that's carried over from 2 versions of Windows ago or something, so that's why I get no ads. I don't know.
All right, okay. So what that means?
But yeah, so yeah, people are annoyed about this, but yeah, there you go. Next story is that Xbox.
Yeah, to be clear, like I say, I'm surprised that people are kicking off about it now. I do wish Microsoft would stop doing it though.
Yes,
I
one
don't
hundred
like it.
percent. Yeah, I don't like it either. Or at
think-
least give us a thing to
The other big difference between this and for Starfield and Forza was that they were games on Game Pass, so you could whereas
That's
this
true.
is more explicitly buy this game.
Gotta buy it.
And
Well, but then is it going to be on Game Pass? Probably is.
No, I
Right.
don't
I mean,
think
at
it
some
can
point
can
in
it?
the future, just not this year.
Not right. Yeah, not right now.
But also, people weren't happy about this overly sort of militaristic kind of
Yeah.
thing as well, because a lot of people boot their console, they don't really want to see that, and then it's like that.
Yeah.
That's the first
100%.
thing you
Yeah,
see.
I totally understand that. I mean, as I said last week, I had that problem with my LG TV where I'd turn it on and it was ridiculous. The amount of adverts on it. I've got that turned off now, thankfully. But yeah, God, it is bad. This is what I'm saying. Like, I never looked at the home screen on Microsoft's console on the Xbox as that bad. There might be a few panels on it that have adverts on, but it generally is not in your face. Full screen ads, no thanks. And I've always called it out on Forza games as well, when you'll boot up the game and you've got an unskippable advert when you've booted up a game, especially when you used to have to pay for the game as well, you know. It's just like, nah, not for me. I don't like that at all.
That's the thing I dislike the most about this, is that like all of this stuff we paid for, like you paid for the hardware, but you're also paying for like, you know, the service through like Game Pass and
licenses,
all that, and all the licenses you're paying for. Why are you also being fed adverts as well?
Yeah, but no, that doesn't work.
Well, that's
though,
just
because
life,
that's
isn't it?
just life. Like that's every service that you ever pay for. You know, you look at Sky Sports; it's absolutely disgraceful how many adverts there are on it, and they're still charging £60 a month or whatever to watch a bit of football. It's that's just it. You know, you buy your magazines; they're always full of adverts. You know, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's
the way
just.
the world
I think
works.
it's just
we grew up
it's
in
just
an era
harder
where...
because you grew up. We grew up during an era where you bought a console and it didn't have adverts as part of it, so it is a bit
or
jarring.
just more
you know, to have this.
broadly, there were things you paid for, and then there were things with adverts in that you didn't have to pay for, right? And it was like, okay, I don't really like adverts, but that's the trade-off for not having to pay for something. And now, we're in this place where it's like, oh no, you have to pay and see fucking adverts. Cool, brilliant, love that.
But that's what I mean. Like with Netflix, like they're trying to push that tier now of like, you know, you have like it's a cheaper subscription but ad supported, and actually it seems that's really what they want everyone on, because they seem to make a lot more money out of that than they do through just subscriptions. But yeah.
Grim.
Okay. The other thing that's happened is Xbox is going to block unauthorized third-party controllers, and this is apparently going to start from the 17th of November. This is mostly wired devices, so like not like Bluetooth ones, or not Bluetooth, you know, not wireless ones. I mean, I'd imagine there's two reasons. I mean, one reason they say, I think, is to stop cheating. You know, because people sometimes use things to program or whatever. But then also, I'm sure that the other reason is this is to make sure that Microsoft gets paid for licensing. You know, like for if you want to create a peripheral or whatever, you have to pay the license for that.
Yeah, but then if that was the thing, wouldn't they have gone in with that in the first place?
You'd think so, but they didn't.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
they
it
didn't,
was-
and now they're like, quick, we need to do something about it.
Yeah, but
I don't know how widespread the cheating issue is. I mean, the first thing that jumps to mind for me is the fighting game community probably pretty pissed about this, because a lot of them, you know, if you buy a very expensive arcade stick, you then buy adapters for different consoles, right, which will spoof the console into thinking it's legit, which is fair enough because those things can cost hundreds of pounds. Of course, you don't want to buy ones for different consoles. I think that's totally fucking fair enough. So I assume that's out the window now.
What if there's like accessibility stuff as well that people have developed and things like that won't work?
Yeah.
Either?
I mean, and you could say, but Microsoft have made their own now. But then, you say, what if people have engineered? So, like the work that like Special Effects do, for example, like presumably, some of the stuff we've seen from them in the past, I assume that's kit they've assembled themselves and could just use the USB interface.
But I imagine they would look into that, and I can't imagine it's within Microsoft's benefit to turn around and say, yeah, we're blocking all those as well. Like, I'm pretty sure that they'll be working with charities to make sure that there's workarounds for these things.
You would hope so.
Yeah, for sure. It's a strange one. I think personally, if they were going into it going, no, we're doing this to make more money out of our accessories,
They're not going to say that, are they?
I think no, but I think they would have launched the console with that mindset. I don't think they would have suddenly done this midway through 2023. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe there is other concerns about cheating.
Well, I don't know. I mean, any opportunity to make money, they might be like, hang on, if they probably looked at all these manufacturers and said we could make some money from these. I mean, I don't think just doing it now.
But they would have known that from years ago. Like,
well, maybe, but maybe they
were
weren't
video
about
game
it.
industry.
Like, I'm astonished, David, how like you always think that these companies have everything worked out and they know exactly what they're doing.
I'm astonished that you honestly think that all these people that work within the industry are idiots and they're just bumbling.
No, I'm not saying no.
Your
That's not the
default
point.
is that they don't know what they're
But
doing.
again, look,
every
there you
time.
go. There you go. Look, this is the whole thing. As usual, it's like it's either one or the other with you. I'm saying it's not. I'm not saying everybody in the industry is an idiot. I'm just saying people make mistakes and companies make mistakes. it happens quite frequently.
But listen to the mistake that you're. No, of course they do. But listen to the mistake you're thinking they're making. That they've launched their consoles, and 3 years after launch, and I'm pretty sure this was available on the Xbox One as well. The same thing. They've suddenly gone, whoa! We're losing money on peripherals. Like then,
Why would they not have done that?
They do it now?
Why is that impossible that that's what's happened?
Because okay,
Because definitely they've
worked.
worked out everything before they've launched the console, yeah? Everything they've worked out.
It's a fundamental decision that they made, and they're going back on it. And you think that has to be because they're losing money on peripherals?
No, I'm saying they want to make more money on peripherals.
Okay, all right.
I do wonder if whatever measure they're going to include to figure out if something is legit or not, like how easily spoofed will that be?
Well,
Microsoft are pretty good at this stuff at this point.
It'll be similar with like
no,
the
they're not,
iPhone
Sean,
stuff.
they're
Like
idiots.
it's the made for iPhone, kind of stuff where it's like, you have to get the license and then it will work.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I'm not saying they're all idiots, David. I'm just saying that sometimes things change over time, and that businesses don't work out every single thing before they launch
agree with that.
something.
I agree with that. I don't know. This is not just a minor oversight, though, is it? That's the difference, I think. When you look at a decision like
tactics,
this,
Because we don't know that this was maybe something that they didn't feel was that important when they launched as something that was that important.
okay, sure.
I think what interests me between Xbox and PlayStation, I've mentioned this before, so apologies for the repetition, but like the fact that with the Xbox, it used to be like, controller wise, fucking USB, whatever you want, who gives a shit. Audio, fuck off. Like buy an official headset or forget it. Whereas the PlayStation was like, plug in any USB audio device, who cares? Controllers, forget it. Like it's just
Controllers or video, forget it. It's like you can't do that. Yeah, it's
God! And then Sony are going back to the whole you only use our stuff.
Well,
for
wireless
audio
Sony have always locked down, I think, for the last few generations. But
actually,
that's really weird.
That's a good point. Does this? I mean, this is just controllers, isn't it? I'm just wondering if this is going to change anything about what you can plug into an Xbox in terms of like peripherals as well, like for things like webcams and stuff like that. Whether they would have to be licensed
they're
as
free
well.
and easy with, aren't they?
Yeah,
or have been up until now. I don't know.
Because also like keyboards, it feels like they wouldn't do it that much, but for controllers, they control it a little bit more.
Surely one of the main aims is to rule out people using keyboards and mice on console.
Yeah, it's strange. I'd love to know what their views are on with that. Like, how are they protecting controller players from just absolute? Because you got a keyboard and mouse, you've got so much of an advantage over controller players. But I don't want to play with a keyboard and mouse. I want to know. I want to go into games knowing I'm not playing people with such a massive advantage. It's it's tough. It's tough.
Just want to make a correction. Louis P in the chat has said so it's not just wired controllers; it is also wireless as well. Just ones that have not been licensed. So
for fuck's sake, I've got 16 unlicensed wireless controllers.
Nyko controllers, whatever.
It is tough for those people that bought cheaper controllers for their kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they don't work. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
think but I don't think wireless ones have been a thing for Xbox, have they? I think.
They have have they not been with certain partners or whatever that they've produced?
We
Yeah,
don't know.
like,
We're clearly
I bet
clambering around.
I think they've already got like 24 leading kind of partners anyway. So at this point, yes, you would have bought like a random controller off Wish or at a market, whatever. But I think most of the controllers that people have bought from most of the 24 manufacturers will be fine.
And Louis also made the point in the chat that a lot of those use a USB dongle to work. Cause that's my because I have an 8-bit DOE USB receiver, which is really fucking useful, but marginally less so now, I guess.
Best dongle in the game was that Wavebird one. Had the little dial on it. What number are you using, boy? I love that controller. Yeah. Go on.
Have a dong.
No rumble though. No rumble.
Cool.
Massive dong.
Shame.
Nah, that's not.
So Fortnite's doing all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Next
That's
story.
weird because they laid a load of people off the other week. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can
Seems
it be
odd,
both
doesn't it?
things, James?
they weren't making any money.
I mean, according to this, they said yesterday. This was on this was Saturday, the 4th of November. They said yesterday was the biggest day in Fortnite's history, with over 44.7 million players jumping in and 102 million hours of play. So this is because they've re-released. It's like Fortnite OG, so it's like the original map. They've reloaded, and they had
that's cool.
And at one point, they had a concurrent player count of like 6 million 172,000 people, which is quite a lot of people.
That is quite a lot of people. It's not as many listeners as we get, but it's all right.
No,
No,
it's a
it's,
decent number though
Shit.
for
That
little
is-
old plucky
Get
epic
this.
games.
Yeah.
People were playing that for nostalgia. Get that. I'll try and wrap your head around that.
Yeah,
There's people out there.
2017,
Do you
baby.
play that game? Look, it's back to what it was like when we were kids.
Let's round up the lads and relive our.
Yeah, where are we dropping, boys?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, people still like that game, so
Mm-hmm.
that's good. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to see the original map again, but I think we'll probably see this for a bunch of other games as well. You know,
Yes.
let's get the old ones back.
Go on.
So next story
No.
is that
Warzone.
September 22. I just looked it up. September 2017. That
Yeah.
came out. So if you were like 5 when you were playing. No, I'm reaching it.
What?
I'm absolutely reaching
Go
it.
on, no, keep going.
You're 11 now. That's It's actually not a bigger jump as I thought
Maths.
it was.
Yeah, but like
to
if
be
you were
fair.
13 when it launched, you've now got a job probably. Right? Like, it's-
Oh yeah, in this fucking
This economy,
In this day, in this economy,
It's
no, I
alright.
don't think so, Sean.
I don't think so, mate. Don't think so. What sort of cuckoo land are you living in? Sean? God.
okay. Next story is Yu Suzuki has been talking about Shenmue to IGN.
oh, good.
Awesome. All positive,
So-
I hope.
This is what he had to say. He said, "I want Shenmue 4 to be enjoyable for newcomers. To make that possible, the most important thing is to make it enjoyable without knowing previous events in the story. I don't think
up.
the new player wants to know 100% of the story. 20 or 30% should be enough. In Shenmue,
What the fuck are you
God.
talking about?
but then it goes on.
It's funny because you've only told about 3% of the fucking story.
I just
Do you know what
want
I
to
mean?
get
Took you
Landy back for my dad, and then that's it. I don't want to do anything else.
And then he
I
okay,
want
he
to know
goes
why
on.
they named the tree that. That's all I wanted to know.
It goes
Go
on
on.
to say, in Shenmue 3, we implemented a digest movie that teaches the player the main events of the previous games. But for Shenmue 4, I want to integrate that part into the main game. It'd be great if the player could naturally learn about previous events just by playing the game. For example, rather than watching a separate movie, having playable flashbacks would be a way to do it. And then, so then they asked him whether they could do like a Shenmue 0 to try and sort of kickstart the series, like, you know, in the West, like as happened to Yakuza. And then he said, I think recreating the streets of Dobita with modern visuals on a new engine alone would make it worth doing. It also connects to the topic of not simply expanding in size, but making an even more detailed location than the original Shenmue is an interesting idea, especially if it's not a remake but a prequel with a new story. And then he said he is working on something now,
he's
but he doesn't want
right.
to talk about it.
I mean,
It's,
he's right. I'd play that. He's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, doing the
Yeah.
yeah. But however, could you imagine after all this time of people not knowing the story if he started re-releasing the bits that he's already told? Like, that is-
you know, I was so hyped for Shenmue 3. I was so looking forward to it.
yeah, I know.
And it
I
killed
know.
me, that game did.
Yeah, it was dreadful. It
It
was
destroyed
dreadful.
a lot of my interest in like the whole thing.
Well, that's it. I imagine Shenmue fans were like, "Oh, I really want Shenmue 3. I can't wait to see what the next part of the story is." Like an hour into the new game, going, "Do you know what? I'm not bothered. I'm not
I'm
bothered."
And it's such a
I'm
shame
done
because
with
it's one of those that kills like the excitement for other games. Do you know what I mean? Like because it was such an problem. Like when that got announced at E3, whatever it was, everyone was like, "Oh my fucking god! Like Shenmue 3 is happening. I cannot believe this." Whereas now it's like it doesn't matter what gets announced. I'm just like, okay, I will cautiously wait and see how that looks like it's going, because something as big as, or you know, something that seemed as big as Shenmue 3 did turned out really naff. And yeah,
I really
For
like
sure.
Shenmue.
Nothing's
I really
safe
like
anymore.
Shenmue 1. Going back to those games recently, I mean, what was it, about 3 years ago or whatever? Going back and playing those games for the first time, Shenmue 1 was really good. Shenmue 2 was not very good, and I think people overdone it a bit with that game. Shenmue 3, I was like, I'm not even bothering with this shit.
I felt annoyed with Shenmue 3 because he was taking the piss. Honestly, like you do, like as you said, Sean, like it damaged the whole sort of like Kickstarter kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
It's like you know,
yeah,
because you just want. He wasn't even interested in like finishing the story at all, or even continuing the story.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have
Nothing
enough money.
happens
He
in
didn't
that
have
game.
10 million. He said he didn't hit the
I
right
like the
target.
fact I like the fact that he's going like, yeah, no, actually, a game explaining the story up until now is the way. The story is that his dad got killed by this guy, and you're looking for him. That's it. There
Yeah.
was a floating sword at one bit. That's not been explained. That's it. Don't worry about it.
He's
Like,
forgotten
there's
anyway.
There's not much to explain.
I reckon he's
There's
forgotten.
not much to go over.
And what makes it hurt even more is that like Yakuza has shown how to do that sort of thing in a much
Yeah.
more refined way since. It's not like oh well Shenmue did this one thing and no one else has attempted it since. I know you're not a fan, Dave, but would you not rather replay Yakuza 0 than Shenmue 3? Or is it actually is it neck and neck?
100%.
Yeah.
120%. Yes, I could play that. I would play that all day long if it meant that I didn't have to play Shenmue 3 again. Oh my god. The bit where you can't pass this gate because there's 3 punks, despite the fact that for 2 games I've been mastering the martial arts.
Yeah.
There's these 3 punks that I need to train up to fight to leave the village.
It was ridiculous that
Absolute shite.
because that fight I beat them up like really badly, and then it was like, oh no, you maybe you did, but you need to train to fight them harder or whatever. And it's just like
you
it's
lost
ridiculous.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, that's
turns out you
dreadful.
didn't win the fight. What, Dave? What was the was it Shenmue 2 where you played the game where you had like the balls going
Lucky
down that
hit.
game and we were like,
Lucky
come on,
hit,
one
yeah.
more. That was great.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Lucky hit. Where I worked
was-
it
that
out.
was an
like, I
iconic
could just
streaming
drop it
moment.
and- Yeah, that was.
It's just me and
I
Colin saying more of this, please. Do a whole stream where you just play this.
There was 3 full streams of
Yeah,
me just
brilliant.
playing Lucky Hit to try and earn enough money because I'd fucked it. Like,
Absolutely
I'd spent
brilliant.
all
What-
my money
what
on
a
those
mode.
little. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next news story.
Okay, so Cliffy B has said that Gears of War needs a God of War style reboot. So I mean,
Agreed.
he's not wrong.
No.
He was talking with Comic Book, which is a website, it would appear, and
It would have been a fucking hell. The shade.
It would appear a website.
so he was talking to them, and then he said, "I've always said Phil Spencer has my number, and I'm happy to consult. Gears will always be near and dear to my heart."
I bet Phil Spencer's deleted that number, mate.
Well,
Yeah, blocked. Had the
There's
number.
more.
Yeah.
There's more on that. So then, according to Eurogamer, he then went off on a tangent, talking about this. And I'm going to read what he said here. He said,
Okay.
"I've said this in other interviews, but I'm friends with Karen Gillan from Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Who and all that. Absolute sweetheart. We had lunch with her at GalaxyCon recently in Raleigh. And the thing is, there's a scene where Doctor Who, Matt and Karen take Vincent van Gogh to the Musée d'Orsay through the TARDIS and time travel and whatnot. Vincent van Gogh lived a tortured life. He believed his work was terrible. He struggled to sell a painting, and then for him to see his impact. And then Matt, the doctor, grabs Bill Nighy, not the science guy, the British actor. Bill does this amazing monologue, and the actor, who looks just like Vincent, just starts losing it, and the music starts swelling. Every time I watch that scene, man, I just get totally fucking misty-eyed. Because, yeah, I like money. Who doesn't? I like to eat prime rib steak and sushi sometimes. But you just want to know that your work makes an impact. And then he linked this to people that apparently had said that when they watched Gears cutscenes, they put their controller down, because they just had to watch it because it was so emotional. And then he also said that he frequently watches Gears cutscenes on YouTube as well.
Oh
too.
my
Yeah.
god.
All right.
That's sad.
But
That's
then,
sad, isn't it?
but then he talked about the current state of gaming, and he said Phil Spencer's trying to become the Netflix of video games with Game Pass. I get that, I respect it, but honestly, I'm not playing shit these days. I'm basically reading books and comic books. And yes, so there you go. I mean,
Yeah,
Phil,
I
Phil
do
should
reading.
definitely get in touch.
I
Like-
read,
Yeah.
I actually read things, so he reads a book a week. I mean, come on. It's just the ramblings of someone that's not been relevant for a while, isn't it?
I mean, he's always been
Irrelevant.
clever with the things he's said to press. Like he's always known how to say
Hell
something
yeah.
that will get headlines and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, totally.
I'm open to the idea that he's done like he was just fully taking the piss when he said all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And let's face
rather than
it,
just like, oh my god, he's lost it.
he's absolutely right about Gears of War. Like him saying, you're
Yes,
probably
definitely.
right. You're probably right. He's saying stuff to get into the press, and it's working. And but the ultimate message is Cliffy B would be up for rebooting Gears of War. I don't know anyone that wouldn't be up for that.
I mean, they
No,
tried
I'm not- I mean,
it.
I love
They've
Gears
tried
5.
rebooting it though. Yeah, they
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they've
Gears
done like soft
5 wasn't
reboots.
a
And...
yeah, but that wasn't.
No,
a
but no. I was
reboot,
saying
was it?
Gears
It
5
didn't-
was great. I would absolutely love for them to reboot it, and it could go loads of different places. It could absolutely go God of War route. I think there was talking maybe replies to these tweets or something else about it being first person. I don't care. Just reboot it. It would be amazing.
No. I don't think it needs that. I think
No, I don't
just
think
a
it needs it at
very-
all. But
just a very, very focused third-person shooter. So the problem with Gears 5, as good as it was, and it was good, and from what I played of it, I didn't get that far into it, was that the open world bits it may put me back into that, oh god. Whereas it like a very focused single player or co-op Gears of War game where it's linear enough to keep it really story driven, but also loose enough to feel like you actually enter in a combat arena and everything. But I don't know. It's I think there's something here, and as you say, he's definitely done the right thing, said the right things to get that in front of people's eyes, and we're talking about it, aren't we? We're talking about it.
yeah, if Microsoft announced a Gears, it's just called Gears, but a Gears reboot at an E3 or Summer Game Fest, that would be massive. Even though it's like a franchise to know about, and I'll be well up for that.
It would be massive, but also there's like part of me that's like, if they announce Gears, you'd be like, okay, Microsoft, right, but we need something new.
But yes,
do you know what I mean? Like we need something a bit,
Yeah, but it would be.
You're saying
it's like,
it doesn't
Marcus
count,
Phoenix, sad
David?
dad.
That counts. Of course it counts. You'd be mad to not say that one of their biggest franchises just doesn't count on a whim because you don't like it that much.
But you would be saying that they still need something more, though, wouldn't you? Like as you just said.
Yeah. But it would still count. I think. I don't know. What weird question.
They should do. The opening of the Gears reboot is the
Titanic?
Oh,
Mad World trailer, but it's playable. That's just what the game's like.
Or it's yeah. I like that. Right. Okay. Is that it for the news?
And I got one last story,
Oi.
which is quite short. I mean, an executive at Sega. I think it's Asumu Ohasi. I think it is. He's currently the head of the second business development at Sega, and he has recently says that he wants Sonic to surpass Mario. So he said this. He said,
"All right. So what you've been playing?
Anyway, move on. Someone's drunk at work. Allegedly, no. That's
Can I read the quote? He said, "Sonic was a game originally developed to compete with Mario, and we have yet to achieve that. Because we respect Mario, my goal is to catch up and to surpass him. We want Sonic to be played all over the world, including Japan, just like Mario. And we want the movie to be a bigger hit than Mario. We also want to build a Sonic attraction in Universal Studios Japan. That is my goal as a Sonic lover." So there you go.
All right.
Yeah, we want to surpass the Giant Bomb podcast, but here we are. Do you know what I mean?
We want to
It's
surpass
like
Mario by doing all the things that Mario is doing.
Worse.
Yeah.
Think of something else.
We want Sonic to be a little plumber guy.
Yeah.
And we want to hire
We
someone
want
to do
Sonic,
his
Sonic
voice and then
needs to learn
fire
a
him.
trade. That's the problem with Sonic.
Oh my god! What they should do? This is an easy fix. I've just thought about it.
Oh yeah.
Get
Hire Martinet.
Martinet. Get Martinet
Oh
in,
my
doing the
God.
voice.
Oh, sorry. I ruined
Get
it,
Martinet
Matt.
do the voice
Sorry.
of Sonic. Done.
Yeah, I
done.
should have shut the fuck up. Sorry. Is that it?
Fuck up, David.
That is it for the news. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to what you've been playing because we are an hour and a quarter into this podcast and we haven't spoken about a game that we've been playing yet. So let's start with Jusant. Jusant?
It's so
Why
satisfying to
is
say.
this so funny to you guys?
It's
a
just fun
French
to say.
word.
It's just a
Just a
nice
French
word
word.
to
No,
say.
it's not funny. It's
Yeah,
just
but
satisfying.
It's not funny. It's just a nice word to say,
Jusant.
Sean.
Okay.
It just feels good in the
Hey,
mouth.
man.
Matt's
All right, we
pulling
know
a
you're
face
cultured.
when he says it.
We know
No,
you're
it just
cultured,
feels
Sean.
good.
I'm a
to say.
You don't
quarter
have to-
French, mate. My granddad, that I didn't really like, was French.
Okay, I just thought you were a burglar. So Jusant is a thanks for appreciating that joke. It was a strange one, but hopefully it landed for some of you. So this is a Don't Nod game, which is a studio that we all have a lot of affection towards. How far into it? Who's completed it? That could say I if you've completed it.
I finished it.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt and I thought you had, Sean. You've been playing it for a while, haven't you?
I've been very
how
ill
far is
this
it?
week. That's my excuse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've been ill. You took one step into London and
Yeah.
caught 15 separate
Yeah.
diseases.
Smelled the air, and then that was it. So I'm I think I'm towards the end of chapter 4, which I
Yeah,
think
I've
is...
just done chapter 4.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so not far.
You've done
really.
the little crawly guys up the cliff.
Yeah.
those guys.
They're great.
Well, this is what I'm finding really interesting because I mean, my perception of time over the last week has been skewed. Fever will do that.
Bugs.
I feel like I've spent ages on it, and I'm like nowhere. And obviously, I'm going out of my way to. We should roll back and actually explain what the game is, right?
It's right, yeah. So if you, right, okay. So Jusant, how do you pronounce? How's best to pronounce Jusant?
It's Jusant, yeah.
Right, okay.
Jusant. That's how you pronounce it.
It's, to look at, you would think it was a third-person action game, but it's mainly just a climbing game, a rock climbing game, right? You control a. Has the character got a name?
I don't
think they've got a name or agenda, have they? They're just
right.
yeah.
You control a character who's scaling a cliff, and along the way you can stop off to find little sort of areas where other characters have been, and
like
left
settlements,
notes
villages.
behind, little settlements, little villages. I mean, how the villages work is absolutely beyond me. But one thing that I wasn't expecting is that this game isn't grounded in reality in any way, because you are being followed, or you have a companion for the trip, which is a little glowing rat thing that has magical powers.
Rat thing? I thought it was more like a little rabbit than a rat.
Well,
it's like
rabbit
either.
thing.
It's just a little
It's a little blob, isn't it?
Blob,
A little cute blob.
Yeah.
That lives in your backpack and can interact with wildlife and
Make plants. grow.
Plants. and
yeah, plants and that. It does things.
I mean, I suppose it could technically be on Earth. It's just it's post apocalypse, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, I guess so. It's
the
very
world
dystopian.
sort of dried out, and then
Yeah.
what you're traversing, like at one point, was all underwater, and there's this huge tower, and it's sort of implied that as the year, like people were living on this huge tower, and as time went on, the water was receding further and further down, and then they had what they call the Jusant, which is French term for a receding tide. So, which is basically all the water fucked off. So everyone abandoned this tower and went off searching for springs and stuff.
And so did the physics.
As you're climbing, oh, you say sorry, James?
So did the physics as well.
So right, we'll get to that. So I am I mad? Did I see trailers where there were other characters, where you were interacting with other characters, like other human characters?
I don't
remember that.
any.
So in my head, I'm walking around going, aren't these little settlements supposed to be full of people? Like,
I
what?
thought I kind of remember that as well, as it being like a conversational kind of thing, like where
Well,
you
I
got
bet
to
that
different
wasn't.
areas.
If you
and
watch
then-
trailers now, I bet there was no one in trailers. I mean,
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm almost certain that you're right there, Matt. Like, and maybe I just made up that bit in my head. So yeah, the main thing that you'll notice when you start playing this game is that it's got an interesting climbing mechanic where it's all about you. It's kind of like the climbing mechanic from the Astrobot game on the PS5. You know, the whole where you're using the triggers to grab onto things one at a time, and if you let go of both of the triggers, the character lets go of the thing. She or he drops off of the side of the cliff, and you know, there's also this rope mechanic which takes a little getting used to, a little wrapping your head around, where when you go to climb, you automatically have a rope attaching, but then you can then sort of pin it to the wall at any
certain
point,
points.
can't you?
Not at any point.
Creating it can be any point.
Yeah,
No,
you
but
can,
you
yeah.
can only
on
do
the
it
cliff.
like 3 times, like
Yeah.
on a climb.
Yeah. There's a limit to how often you can do it,
Yeah.
but there's a limit to the rope length as well, because there's a specific bit that I've just done where it's like, no, you've run out of rope, you need to find out a way of loosening rope to climb further up the cliff or whatever. But that's kind of self-checkpointing, which I thought was a pretty cool idea. So there are times where you will attach your rope to the wall with a pin, and then if you screw up and fall down from there, you only have to climb back up to where you've put that pin. Like
You
you
can
don't
just pull yourself
start
up,
from
can't
the
you? You
bottom
don't need to
again.
climb at all. You can just
Exactly, you just
reel it in,
pull yourself up to that point.
Yeah, up to the piton. Is it piton? Python?
It's on, yeah.
Yeah, I'll start. This game is doing absolutely nothing for me. I'm not
Really?
getting. I don't feel that
How
I'm
far are you
getting
into it again?
anything
How
out of it.
long you played it for?
2 hours, I think.
Yeah, the
Two-
first 2
an
hours
hour
for
and a half?
me, yeah, I didn't really care about this game at all. A mate of mine, Joe, messaged me saying, "Are you playing Jusant?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's doing loads of things that I think are nice, but I've got nothing about it. There's nothing about it at all." But then by the end, I loved it actually.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah, the
'Cause
first 2 hours for me, I was like,
I really like
oh,
it.
What
Um,
changed? What changed your mind mechanically, or was it the sort of subtext around it, the story
it
around
was understanding more of the story. I mean, the climbing mechanics stay the same, but you have more kind of complex things you're dealing with, like weather and other elements and whatnot. And yeah, the climbs, they get a bit more puzzly, but they're not really tricky. But no, for me, it's more the story really. It's more the story, just understanding where it's going. Because at first, look, all the story is pieced together through picking up notes and see kind of what looked like essentially like an old messaging system between residents in the communities and in the settlements that you go through. And the story was quite woolly. I wasn't really sure where it was going, but then as I understood more of the stories and just understood where the story was going, I just appreciated it a lot more. And I thought the variety of environments is good because as well as you climb on the outside of this tower, you then go kind of internally to some other bits. And I thought how it looked was absolutely gorgeous. I think like graphically, this game looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I think I love the sun-kissed kind of cliff or like fluorescent characters, or creatures you meet, and the lighting inside and outside both looks absolutely gorgeous and makes like a real picture. But no, I really, really enjoyed it by the end.
I'm not blown away by it visually at all, and
You know,
neither.
oh, no,
I
I
just
love the
find
way
it
it
a little
looks.
bit.
Yeah, I love the lighting.
I'm just finding
So
it.
just say, Ben, in the
really-
chat, I can see you don't like it. That's fine. You can stop posting messages. Carry on.
Sean-
Yeah, I'm not saying
Sean
it's not the
likes this
greatest game, it's the greatest looking game ever, but I love the look of the graphics. I love the style, like the
Yeah, I think it
sun
looks
kiss.
gorgeous. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
And
it just
especially-
evokes such an emotion. Yeah,
Yeah, like the chapter 4 bit where it's all the glowing cave, like mushrooms and stuff. I
yeah,
think it's
yeah. The
beautiful.
glowing stuff in the caves are
irritating.
great. The sun looks
Why is
brilliant.
it
God.
irritating?
Go on, James.
That okay. This game, you see the thing is, I don't like seriously dislike this game. I don't have a massive problem with it, but I did
I love
find
it when you do this. When you really hate a game, you always say that bit at the start. It really makes me laugh. You did this with Detroit Become Human. Do you remember? You went, I don't hate this game. It is an okay game. Then slaughtered it for a good 20 minutes.
No, I don't severely hate this game. I was just bored by it. Like I was really bored by it. Like throughout the entire experience, those changes of environment, the cave section. I mean, I hated that section more than any of the other sections because it was so fucking dark in there, and it was so difficult to see where you were supposed to go.
It's not at all. You need to
No,
just turn the
it is.
brightness up on your telly,
Yeah,
James.
it wasn't too dark you couldn't see.
What are you shaking your head for? No one else has had an issue with that.
I know, but I did. I found it difficult to see, so that was.
But you didn't think to turn the brightness up on your telly?
Oh, I did, and it was still.
Okay.
I managed to get through it, but I did not. It was not an enjoyable experience to get
Okay.
through that
No.
section. The section afterwards, which is I found, I think this is like. I mean, chapter 5 was the one that I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed that chapter because it brings in like environmental effects and things
Yeah,
like
the
that, which I
severe
found
Well,
weather
that's a
is
high
really
point.
good.
Yeah,
that was significantly more interesting. But the section that I disliked the most was the what's called the desert section, where that introduces that whole thing of those things crawling across the wall, which I
Yes.
found
What I don't get, why do they slow down when you grab them? But that's just irritating, isn't it?
it's very irritating.
I guess it's like they get
They
tired.
get tired, yeah.
But
I guess-
How is that adding to the
Well, the
experience? in any
issue
way?
I
It
had
pissed
with
me
it
off.
is, so yeah, for those people who haven't played it, there are these little
Yeah.
animals called pebbles that crawl around on the walls, and you can use them as handholds and move with them, right? So you can grab one,
Yeah,
and
which
then
is
it'll
a cool
carry,
idea,
carry-
yeah.
It is a cool idea.
But they
and
do
then
it
you're looking up
repeatedly.
at the wall, and you're like, right, there's clearly like 3 or 4 sort of preset routes that they're moving through, right? So it's like, right, I can ride one up to this point, jump to another one, and then ride that to there, and brilliant. But all right, obviously they're animals. They shouldn't necessarily be 100% mechanical, but there will be times where you're like, right, I'm now at the bit where I should be able to jump to another one, but the timing just hasn't quite worked out, and there isn't one there
Yeah.
for me to jump to, and now I'm
Yeah.
tired, and I'm going to lose my strength, and I'm going to fall. So that can be a bit irritating. I think it would have been better, like, all right, less realistic, but better served if it was like 100% predictable and mechanical in that sense. But
I mean, at that point, you put a piton down, and yeah, you
Yeah,
have like
true.
we haven't talked about the stamina wheel as well, which I think is interesting because
All of that
so you
is
have
fine. Yeah, all of that is completely fine. I think you see part of the problem, as I said. I mean, I talked about this in our group chat that I had with this was I probably also came to this at the wrong time, having been what I just played previously, because I just finished Spider-Man 2, which is not obviously completely not the same kind of game at all, but it is a game which also has like traversal at its heart as being something which is very important to how you play that game.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth in that, and everything works so beautifully that then you come to this, and I completely understand that the whole point of this is for it to be slow and deliberate, and that you're making these choices, about where, about how you're going to take on whatever the challenge of the cliff. But the trouble is after you come from something which is really refined and really works really well, it feels very jarring when you do that, and that's why I got quite irritated at points with this, especially because I took some videos because the physics were going all over the place in the game that I played.
Yeah, I had a few moments like that.
And also the camera as well, like swinging around and then like getting stuck in things. My character disappearing into the cliff a couple of times. Like, I don't know why, like why that was happening. So stuff like that really took me out of the experience playing this. Like that irritated me. And then I got through to the end, and I was. As I said, the fifth chapter was the one that was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, I'm enjoying this, but yeah, the desert section that really irritated me because it brings in that mechanic of how like you open up. Like you sort of activate these plants, which then create handholds, but then they get burned away very quickly by the sun, and which is
and there is always a section that stays.
Yeah,
There's always a section that's in the shadows.
But some of these things, like the stuff with the crawling insects, like going up the walls and stuff like that, that was fine like a couple of times, but I didn't enjoy the repetition of that like throughout, and the way that they kept bringing that back in again.
I understand why they maybe wanted to try and add some peril to it, but I don't know if it benefits the game. I think it might have been better served if it was just like, everything's 100% at your own pace. I don't know.
It gave us some variety. I didn't mind it when I saw those, the crawly pebbles. I'm like, okay, well, what's my route up here? I didn't mind that so much. I didn't fall off as much. But I also, James, on your point, I didn't have many bugs, so I think that probably would also have annoyed me. But I just got lucky, maybe.
Because that was what was interesting. Because when you get like later on, you get to like chapter 4, and then especially into chapter 5, they mix up the way that you're climbing, and it becomes so much more interesting. Whereas that's why the desert section I found really tedious, because of the fact that they just kept on doing the same thing over and over again of like these crawling pebbles, and that just irritated me. I didn't enjoy that.
I had two major problems with this game when playing it. The first being, like, I didn't hate it. I'm not disliking the game. I just find it really like quite tedious, and I'm finding it very tedious. And I'm also there's too much reading in it. I'm sorry. I know that sounds pathetic.
You don't have to read any of it if you don't want to.
Oh
you don't
my
have
god!
To, but it's also not very interesting.
Yeah, when you look at the journal entries, you're like, oh my god, there's just paragraphs of saying nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they're just talking to each other. Like that is the story. That is the flavour where you're getting people's stories and their own kind of journeys.
You can't just replace that with like a fucking text conversation just in a journal. Like it's not interesting enough for me. Like,
it is in a journal.
The that's what I'm saying. But you can't like it's got story. Here's just a block of text. Like, that's not. I don't find that interesting or good storytelling. Like, I don't look at the settlements and see any reflection of anything that's been said in the journals. Do you know what I mean? There's no relation there at all.
There wasn't like visual storytelling really that much compared, of like what was really going on here. It was, and like, as you said, they don't feel like lived-in settlements to me.
I feel the complete opposite. I love how they look. It felt like everyone's like left in a hurry, and like the stories of the text stories you see,
repeated assets everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere looked like exactly the same, and at no point.
Well, it looked like one massive kind of fishing village, didn't it?
Oh, they live because they live this way. This is how they lived. There was none of that for me. It was like there was no correlation between what I was seeing in each of the settlements and what I was reading. Like I felt no connection there. But also the other issue I had is the amount of times I was like, right, where do you want me to go next? there was a bunch of times where I'm like, I'm not even sure where you're trying to, and they've got a button there where you could press it and it shows you like a little circle of where you should be heading, but not
Didn't
a
find
good
that useful
indication
at
of how
all.
No,
to
no.
get
So
Nah,
the
it's
circle
not, is
shows circle shows where like collectibles and things are, but
Okay.
the other thing you press like shows you the general direction. Like that never seemed to really help me, honestly. I mean, I didn't find that too tricky. There was one part where I'm like, I wasn't sure where to go, but apart from that, it was generally pretty well.
But
I don't
but
know, I felt
ultimately,
like I
I'm
was
just
funneled away.
I think the thing is the only way that I can explain my reaction to this game is that whatever it's trying to do is not working on me. I'm not sitting there enjoying any of it. Like I'm not getting goosebumps. I'm not feeling fear of falling down. I'm not getting into any of the story elements. I don't visually. It's not blowing me away in any way. And I'm sitting there just going, yeah, no, it's just ain't. This isn't doing it for me.
Yeah,
So
this is
I
exactly
I'm
how
just
I
gonna
felt.
stop.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah,
That's weird.
I loved reading all the messages. I love reading stories, hearing about Pill's folks who've been on the wall or the tower for years and they didn't want to go or they had to go, and stories about was it the ballasts and stuff. I loved that. And the more I read, the more I enjoyed it. And yeah, I thought all the areas felt really lived in. I loved basically like a fishing village of Pill had left. They'd gone in a hurry. I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't
the
notice
attention to
loads of
detail. Yeah, the
Yeah.
amount of stuff lying around and everything. I think the sense of place in each little settlement, I think, is amazing.
Yeah, I think they tell little stories
Just to
in-
explain, Sean had to nip away for a couple of minutes there,
Sorry, yeah,
so
what have I missed?
he missed that.
Recap
I
the
don't
whole
get that.
thing.
I don't get that at all, Sean. I
Okay.
don't. I don't feel. I have no connection. What I was saying was I have no connection over the text that I'm reading and the area that I'm in. I don't walk into a place and think, oh, this feels real, like a lived-in place. It feels abundantly repeated assets to me, and there was a lot of stuff there. But without the detail, and that's the only way that I can describe it. So like it feels busy and it feels dense in terms of objects in each settlement, but like it doesn't feel like a place to me. It feels like a bunch of assets chucked into a room, and I think that's probably only real negative I can say about the game. Like there's I'm not sitting here just going, this is terrible, but I am sitting there going, this is not doing anything for
It's just
me.
not charming you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what I would say. This is what I'm saying. It's not. I'm not saying it's a terrible game or anything like that at all. I'm just saying it for me. It didn't. I didn't click with it.
We're in the
at all.
wrong though. Well, we're in the wrong. We're in the minority, James.
Yes,
because
I know,
the
I know,
reviews, review scores this is getting is unbelievable. It's been absolutely smashing it. It's a very popular game. So I've got. A
But yeah,
feeling we're
yeah.
gonna
The
get
first
hit by
90
some
minutes, I
emails.
definitely felt what you felt, but for some, for a number of reasons, I guess it won me round. And yeah, by the end, I really loved the experience. I thought it was excellent.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
definitely going to crack on with it. I'm excited to see more of it when I'm not dying.
So you're
Yeah,
on
I
chapter
might-
4, right? So you got like a couple of hours
Yes.
left, really.
Yeah.
The
You
two and a half,
You
maybe.
got the good bit coming as well. So that's
Yeah, no, I've heard chapter 5 is a.
I've heard it's only about 3 hours long. Is that not the case?
I think it took me like 6.
It took me 3 hours.
I feel
Yeah.
like I've spent about
3 hours.
4
Yeah,
hours. on it
well,
and
I haven't checked my
nowhere.
time, but I thought everyone was like, there's 6 chapters.
I actually had a look, like, because Sean, because I looked to see, because I thought you'd finished it, and so I like, brought up the profile things. You played it for 11 hours, and I just thought,
Oh no, I
holy
definitely haven't played it for 11 hours.
And I
I think I probably fell asleep while it was on. But yeah.
Anyway, you guys should Sorry, Sean.
I was going to say, can we take a break? Because I've got 2 dogs here who I think want feeding.
100%. Yeah, do it.
See you in a minute.
I mean, he's editing. How's everyone in the chat doing? Let's talk to the chat.
Yeah. Also, it was 4-1. This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I
I
know.
know.
Mad game.
I told you, right? As good as Tottenham have been this season, and they have been good, enjoyable
Playing
to
loads of
watch,
easy teams.
playing really well. They have a thing about playing Chelsea, and they lose their heads every time. And that's exactly what's happened. They went down to 9 men.
It's like one of the people I follow on here. Like it's like Chelsea rewarded with their best win of the season for one of their worst performances. They said they were terrible, but they still.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's 5 disallowed goals, 2 red cards.
Wow. That's going to be good to watch the highlights of that.
Yeah. What's going on?
Wow, what is going on?
My brother sent me a funny video. Do you want to see the funny video?
I
Ready?
really do, yeah. Go on.
Ready?
Okay.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
it's a
it.
dog. It's a
That's
dog.
it. It's a dog. Everyone in the chat, all right?
Can
Happy...
you forward that to me, David, please?
Okay. No. Are you guys still playing the golf game? We are still playing the golf game. I will give you an update because we reset the league every week, and
I totally forgot
someone gets awarded a championship. So at the moment, in terms of championships, James and Sean both have 0. I have 1. Matt Murray has 3. He is absolutely smashing this. And this week's league, it's the last game tomorrow. James has 6 points in last place. I have 9 points in third place. Sean has 14 in second place. Matt has 15 in first.
Tough.
So it all comes down to tomorrow's.
Last week we were
tomorrow's round.
Oh no, we weren't. Yeah, we were in level like the penultimate, weren't we? Last week. Were me and you the top 2 in the last?
Yes, we were top 2 going into last week. Yeah.
Might take you a couple of attempts this time.
We would talk about this. We would talk about this before the show. I don't trust Matt.
Yeah, that's what I hate about this.
Like,
can't do anything right.
If I found out that he was repeating, of course, it wouldn't surprise me if he had more than one attempt on the court. Of course.
Yeah, that's why I can't be good at anything. Because if I'm good at something, like, well, don't believe you anyway. So what's the point?
But you say all the time, win at all costs.
Yeah, I hate losing,
your
100%.
thing. Exactly. You know, you've cheated at Laser Quest.
Well, no, John gave me gun 10. That wasn't.
Right, and then you were putting your ghillie suit over the sensors and laying on the floor.
Also not true.
Which is literally against the rules.
It can't be done.
What do you mean it can't be done? You did it.
Put my ghillie suit over the sensors. I would have to take the ghillie suit off to put the sensors underneath.
But you were laying on the floor, hiding half.
That
of
was
the
one
sensors.
game I laid on the floor.
Do you know what I mean? Right. See, there are 2 types of people, Visionary. There are people that are saying play to win. You know, oh, if you can't win, don't play. Oh no, that's not. You're on my side then. Yeah, there are some people that are like do everything to win, whereas I am very much you play by the rules. Otherwise, what's the point?
I'm playing by the rules.
Yeah, you play to win, but within the rules. You know, that's what you do.
What? How have I broken the rules?
Laying on the floor.
Well, I thought we were talking about coffee golf. Also, like, fucking hell, like, who gives a shit about that? It's like, had a bit of fun with me. Still lost. And I think we won that one.
Oh,
I was only on the floor for like 45 seconds, if that.
3 or 45 seconds. Cheaters never win. Yeah, absolutely right, Visionary.
Well, no, I think we won that one, actually, Visionary, so that isn't true.
Cheaters did win.
Yeah, apart from that one. Yeah, coffee golf's good. It's still frustrating every day because you want to do more, but what can you do?
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. I love it. I'm waiting for the first person to say, I'm not doing this no more. Like, that's gonna kill me. And it'll either be Sean or James.
I don't know. See, the thing is, I haven't got a hope in hell of ever winning any of these, but I don't really care because I'm enjoying it, so it's fine.
Well,
Good.
Just get better, James.
Well, I don't want to keep practicing, Matt, like you. Like it's you know.
No,
What
but
are you
it's not
doing now,
hard.
James?
I
What are
wanna
you
play
doing
this-
now?
What do you mean?
Practicing
What are you doing
coffee golf.
No, I'm just flicking through my phone. You know, as you do.
Oh, yeah.
You
What are
know you're
flicking through? What you got
Talking to
there?
your mates here. Just
Hmm?
get on the old phone.
What? What are you flicking through? What are you looking at?
I'm just having a look at
Pornhub.
the old match day. You know.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you the chat what I did yesterday. This will probably be bonus show content, but seeing as you're here waiting,
Jokes it.
What's your response to everything?
Never put me wrong.
Harry had a wobbly tooth yesterday, one of the big
Oh.
ones. With a
Right at the back.
tooth. Yeah, like towards the back, is like there, that one.
Oh.
And he burst into tears, going, "Oh my, it really hurts! It really hurts!" So I said, "Right, here you go. Come on." Took him into the toilet, wrapped a thread around it, wrapped it round the door handle, and I went, "I'll be back in a minute," and then walked out the toilet, slammed the door shut behind me, and the crying stopped like that. And I thought, that's normal because that's what I had done when I was a kid, right?
I always
But
thought this was a
apparently-
myth. I thought this was
No.
something that was in the Beano.
Yeah.
I didn't
Right.
think it was something that people actually did.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my parents did it to me when I was a kid, but I did it to Harry, and it was like Jo said she was dead against it. When she knew what I was doing, she just walked off. She was like really hated the idea. Harry afterwards said I was in so much pain, and the moment the door shut, the pain just went. Like he said, it was.
So
just
you
worked
generally tied it
perfectly.
around his tooth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
I
got
mean,
a
Elodie
thread,
wouldn't even
tie it
let
round
me
the
get
tooth.
close, frankly.
yeah, and then tied it round the door thing, and I said I'll be right back, and I slammed the door, and it popped the tooth out. It was beautiful. I was so smug, Matt.
Pretty brave
But
if
then
he
I was
let you actually put it on his tooth. Like, yeah,
he was
that's good.
he was not being brave. And then
It was being brave. Like, what Elodie would like just get out. You don't even put it on my tooth. No way. Like, at least he let you do that. Too trusting.
So I told the people at work this today, and they were disgusted. Like they were proper like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "No, it's fine. Like it was all good. It was all. I've had it done before. It's not painful. It
Right,
just
have
pops
you
the
not
tooth out."
have you not read the Beano? Like it's fine.
Anytime the door slams, he's gonna think he's losing a tooth. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Elodie,
it fucking worked,
it's so traumatic when Elodie has a wobbly tooth. I mean, she just like they don't come out for weeks or months. She like doesn't eat. She like tries to wash around it. She's like it just doesn't like it at all. If she mentions she got a wobbly tooth, it's like Jesus. Then we've got like 6 weeks now of like her being upset, her being stressed, and
Really?
not good.
Asher just pulls them out.
Yeah, she did one of. She pulled one of them out.
literally,
we
yeah.
went to Legoland last year, but yeah. Apart from that one where she suddenly got brave in a second, and
I
she
just
hates
told
them.
them
We
what I
hate
did
them.
to Harry's tooth yesterday, Sean.
Oh yeah.
And someone's replied,
Go
"I'm
for
starting
Wii."
to think David is an actual cartoon." I told the people at work today. Oh, Matt's chosen now to go for a week. Now that you've got brilliant timing there, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, I was a while. New came home from work like as I was feeding the dog, so.
That's all right. I told the people at work today, and they were disgusted by me. They couldn't believe that I did it. And I was like, "But it worked. I'll always have that." So a little tip for you. Would you do that, Sean?
I mean, Isaac's fucking desperate to lose a tooth. So he's like,
You gotta
cannot
wait. You can't just do it with the one that's the one that's not wobbly. I
That's
don't know.
absolutely fine.
Country's gone soft. You ain't wrong there, Ace of Chase. It's all those loony lefties. They don't like the thread and door technique, do they? You probably have to counsel the tooth out, don't you? This day and age.
Have to shame it on social media for.
Cancel that
teeth-
tooth.
Teeth don't get pulled. They get cancelled these days. Huh? No. Okay. That is the greatest story of all time. He's going to remember that forever now. I love it. I love it.
Where's Matt gone? He's gone for a week.
Yeah. Just as you sat down, he went, "No, I'm going for a wee." That's not brilliant.
I'm going to do the
That's
same, but I'm
taken
waiting
longer.
for Matt to get back.
Little relay.
Please stop sounding like my work colleagues. Pubis, eh? It's probably the woke karate, isn't it? Here he is.
Here he is.
That's a
Oh,
big
this
old
is all. I just
piss.
realised this is all on the YouTube thing. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is what we always say. This is good because when it's not on Twitch, I mean, it's just us recording at home. It's not being broadcast. When you have breaks, you might talk about actual personal stuff, and then if you fuck up the edit, it's like shit that gets left in the show. Whereas this is like, well, if I do leave this in by accident,
Which
it's
Matt
only
did a few weeks back.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was
We didn't
safe.
go into that.
But we know it's stuff that we already deemed fit for some
Exactly,
sort of
yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
fine.
Yeah. All
Right.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so that's Jusant. I think we've covered that one. There is another game. There was another game released this week that I kind of absolutely love, and you all should stop playing this silly climbing game and play a good video game. And that game is called Headbangers Rhythm Royale. It's now, Matt. You said you haven't heard of this, but if you
Yep.
remember, one of the recent talksovers we did, there was an announcement. It's a Team 17 game, and it was a bunch of pigeons, and it's a rhythm action game, and it's a battle royale game where you do a rhythm action thing, and then you get through to the next round, and each, depending on how well you do in the rhythm action thing, it halves every time. Do you remember this?
I've just googled it and I recognise the artwork now. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It is genuinely brilliant. Like it's funny.
Is it on Game
because
Pass?
It's on
It is,
Game
yeah.
Pass.
Okay.
It's you could play like 16 players in one like a private game or something. I don't know. There's like squares for how many people are in your party. And there's just like loads of them. You can invite loads of people to join you. It's fucking hilarious to start with. The character design's funny, the voice acting's funny, the visuals are funny. It's a really, really funny game to play. Like it's just comedy throughout. The kids honestly let Isaac play it because and yeah, everyone else's kids obviously, but it's so like Charlie just won't stop laughing at it. You could do this thing where you've got your like imagine Fall Guys, right? The starting screen, because this is heavily inspired by Fall Guys. All the upgrades and the shop and everything, it all just looks very Fall Guys. In Fall Guys you see your character just before you launch into a game. Same here, you see your pigeon before you launch into a game, but you can like press the stick one way or the other, and he bends his neck and goes until you let go, and then he goes like that, right? And honestly, you can spend an hour on that just in the menu, like just laughing at that. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, you can like unlock phrases. So I've just got to the next point of the what do you call it, the battle pass or whatever, where it says I've unlocked my pigeon now. If I click the sticky and goes arrivederci, and that never gets old. That never gets old. It's fucking hilarious. But in terms of the game, basically it's 4 rounds. And it is the only sort of thing that sort of sticks in the tooth a bit. A lot of the rounds are sort of stolen from Rhythm Paradise.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff where you're going, like the one where there's a sergeant saying like left, right, up, down. Yeah, that's all in there.
Right.
You've got the stuff where it'll go dung 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 boom, and then you click it dung 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 boom, dung 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 boom. Ding, ding, ding. So it's got rounds like that. Sorry, if you've not played a rhythm action game before, that means nothing to you. But I guarantee if you played Rhythm Sendoku, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there are some like really interesting ones. There's a really fun one where it pits you against one-on-one with another player, and it plays like a bunch of sound effects and shows you a picture of a sound effect or whatever, like a I don't know, like a telephone. And you're listening to all the sound effects, and you're waiting to hear the telephone ring. The moment you hear the telephone, you press the button, and if you do it quicker than the other person, you get a point and stuff like that. There's one where there's there'll be a character on the screen, like a pigeon, and it will go bap 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 bap, and you've got to press the button every time you hear the sound. And you're going, okay, this is pretty easy. Yeah, you got it right. The pigeon made 8 noises or whatever. Then suddenly there's 3 pigeons all making different sounds at a ridiculous speed, and you've got to try and keep up pressing the 3 different buttons, like and you'll go, fucking hell, like how many was that? We've been playing it in parties of 2 or 3, and we've been having an absolute blast with it. I don't know if it's going to have legs. I don't know if it's going to be as popular as Fall Guys is, because I think with Fall Guys, everyone felt like they had a chance of getting to the final, and everyone felt like they had a chance of coming away with a crown. Whereas here, there's a certain type of person that's better at rhythm action games than others.
That's the thing, because something like rhythm, you can practice the game, but rhythm is something you develop over your entire life, or you don't.
Yeah.
Like it's
you either got it or you don't, baby.
And we've got
it. Yeah. I've yet to be put in a final. Put it that way. It shows you how bad I am. But honestly, if you've got Game Pass, definitely play it. It's so much fun. Even if you're just going to play it once and never again, have a night on it, because we had so much fun. Like the boys, when they woke up, we played it in the front room, belly laughing at all of the different different little jokes in it and the silly voice acting and all that sort of stuff. Definitely play it.
I wanna
I'm
get some
surprised
stalls
you
in it,
guys
it's great.
haven't.
This is on
It
Game Pass.
is.
So I'm going to give this a go with Asher, I think.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, in our WhatsApp group, Matt, people be
Yeah,
going,
I know you
gonna
mentioned
pitch it up?
Pigeon Game, yeah.
Come on, let's pitch it
I've been
up.
meaning
Let's
to
pitch it
ask,
up. Are you
but-
playing Pidge tonight? Yeah. Headbangers Rhythm Royale. Definitely play it. Brilliant game. Really good fun. I just hope, I hope we're not just going to leave it in this week and then not go back to it, because I think it deserves more than that. Like, they've really put the effort in to get this working and making it as fun as possible. But I also worry about how much legs this game has got in it. It's going to be a tough one to maintain any sort of audience, I think. That's what I've been playing this week. Sean, I would like to hear from you.
Hello. So as mentioned, very poorly over the last week. I did play, so I have bought RoboCop, which is not on Game Pass. I apologise to everyone who was misled by me last week.
Why wasn't that in the feedback? We had loads of feedback.
There's
saying,
plenty
what
of it in the
fuck?
Discord, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
None of them makes it in. It was one of those where I was like, no, I'm sure I can find the thing that made me think that it's on Game Pass, and then I'll feel relatively sane. Nope. No, I just completely made that
I
up.
was furious about this. I was sitting there
I
on
was a
my
little
thing
bit
trying
pissed
to download it, and I said, Chad, look, Sean said it was on Game Pass, and it's not here.
Like
And,
me with the
yeah.
mini eggs. It's like me with the mini eggs.
But I've played a bit of that, but not really beyond what I'd already played in the demo. So, yeah, more on that next week, I imagine. But I have finally spent a bit of quality time with my Meta Quest 3 because Powerwash Sim VR is out, and I fancied giving that a go because, like, I was, wasn't really grabbed by the console version, but for some reason playing it in VR, the idea of that appealed, and I thought, yeah, why not? It's a weird one. I think it needs some work before I can recommend it. Yeah, it's a shame because obviously all the things that are good about the game translate really well to VR. In terms of it being weirdly therapeutic, in terms of it making you wonder what exactly you're doing with your life. But it does feel good, like all the stuff about the sound design and everything, right? And the fact that, as a seasoned real life power wash user, I've got a patio and 2 dogs, keep pissing on it relentlessly. It does feel the same, right? It feels great.
I thought you meant you power wash the dogs.
No. Just the little things, like obviously, like moving it slowly is more likely to actually scrub stuff rather than just like spraying it everywhere and flinging it around. The interface is like really nice. You look down, you've got this tool belt and you've got all your nozzles, and then you kind of use both your hands to like pull the belt round. And then you've got your different like washing fluids and your extensions and stuff like that.
I like it.
That's all really cool and really good fun. Obviously it's got co-op as well, which I've not tried yet, but I think that'll be nice just to chat. I assume the console version had co-op as well, right?
Yeah, that co-op. Yeah.
I can imagine that being a nice time.
No.
No.
Well, there's kind of like you'll be doing it and you look round and just go, no, don't do that. Don't do it like that. You work from the outside in. Just for fun. No,
He's
just
such
leave
a
it to
gaffer,
me.
isn't he?
Forget it. Yeah. It's like when your kid tries to help you clean the flat. You're like, you're just pushing stuff underneath the sofa. It's
Making
not
more
the same.
work. Why would you do that?
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it doesn't look great. And obviously it's designed for the Quest 2. It's not like it's had like a Quest 3 version or update or anything. Looks really quite bad, and the frame rate is all over the place, or it's not it doesn't make you motion sick or anything, because you sort of looking around is always like at the proper frame rate, but the motion of your hands seems to jerk around quite a lot. And this doesn't ruin it, but it's just, I don't know, doesn't feel great. And on top of it not looking great, it's like it just doesn't feel 100% ready, to be honest.
Right.
So thank God, after that, I finally tried Red Matter 2, which I owned
Which
this
is a
on,
looker.
yeah, like so I owned it on the Quest 2, but I never got around to playing it because I'd gathered it was like the nicest looking Quest 2 game, and also it's had a proper Quest 3 update. Holy shit, it looks incredible. Like,
Is this a shooter?
I gather there is shooting in it. I haven't
Mhm.
found any yet. I think you'd really like this, James. I'm pretty sure it's on PSVR 2 as well.
It
Doesn't
is,
Matt?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look even better on that one, it James.
It probably
do,
will. Like, to be like, when I'm saying holy shit, what I mean is like, I'm not thinking, oh yeah, this is technically running on a phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, this looks almost like a real game. Like,
Yeah, the work they did like a kind of mini dev diary talking about the work they did on Red Matter 2 on Quest 2, and it is amazing. The lighting stuff, the kind of semi ray tracing, or maybe full ray tracing now, but and then they put a lot of that work into the Quest 3 version, probably PSVR 2 as well. But yeah, it looks stunning on Quest 2, so it must be even better on Quest 3.
yeah, super impressive, and especially coming from Powerwash Sim, it's like night and day. Like, it's just unbelievable just how fucking sharp everything looks. Like, like even like with the Quest 2 or Quest 1 and 2, even the best looking games, it feels like texture resolution is always an issue. I guess it's a RAM issue or whatever. So obviously, your best looking games like Walkabout Mini Golf, where it's like, well, let's just not have any textures, then let's just make it that sort of cool, sort of low poly style. Yeah, whereas this is like, no, I'm walking, like, I'm looking at screens and there's like text and pictures of people on them, and it's all perfectly crisp. Like, yeah, like super impressed. But yeah, Red Matter 2 is this sci-fi sort of puzzle slash adventure slash apparently occasionally a shooter game where you're sort of, at the moment, I'm trying to break into this like space station basically. And yeah, you're picking stuff up, solving puzzles. You've got a jetpack with very limited fuel, so you're doing little like spacewalks. And yeah, so I've not a huge amount to say about it yet, other than technically like really impressed, and like this totally sets the bar for what I would hope to see more of on the Quest 3. Because there's not like, am I right in thinking, Matt, there's not a huge amount of games that have been like optimized for Quest 3 yet?
No, it's not an exhaustive list. Obviously, some have, but no, it's not as big as some may have thought. Maybe,
but then I
some
think
people are
Meta have
waiting
only
for...
sold about 3 of them, so fair enough.
Yeah, we
Really?
don't know what the sales figures are like.
Low?
Sorry, which they do?
Has it been low? Do you know that for a fact?
I mean, there's been like, the analyst says that the Meta are like massively reducing their projections and stuff.
Right.
How much you want to read into that, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
but I
I
think
think
as I
it's
said,
still
I mean,
waiting for
I've
that.
said this about VR at the moment, is that people have had their fill of the, well, not people. There will be an audience for for VR, but I do think in terms of mainstream and the success of the Quest previously, people aren't willing to pay 500 quid for a similar experience. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I think for the what a lot of people want out of VR, like the Quest 2 is still pretty adequate.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when there hasn't been any like really big like headline things like bring you back to this, and it's the same with PSVR 2 as well. It's like we had Horizon Call of the Mountain, and then I know people are going to get annoyed about this, but there hasn't been anything like that since. It really hasn't.
I mean,
Well, I think it's fair to say there's been nothing like that since, but there has been a bunch of other games, but nothing like Call of the Mountain for sure.
what amazes me is the discount stuff.
Don't piss off Matt, James. All right, don't piss off
Well, no,
Matt. We need him.
I think it's true. Yeah, there isn't anything like that because that's like Sony first party, and we're waiting for what's next. But I've seen a bunch of other games out on it.
Waiting a long time. I think with that.
But yeah, the discount stuff you can still do on the Quest is obscene. So for those who don't know, right, any game you've bought on the Quest, you can generate a 25% off code to send to your mates.
Oh wow,
and
really?
And any one of them who use that code, you get 4 quid. Right.
Nice.
So just let that sink in for a minute, right? Because, like, I know Matt was saying, it's a bit of a nightmare because the reviews, like any game you look at the reviews, everyone's like, "Here's my code, here's my code." So people are going out of their way, like that's banned now. I think you can't put links in, but people are figuring out ways around it. Like so you go in the reviews and you scroll past a few, and then someone will be like, "Oh yeah, go to like bit space dot space ly space." and they'll give you a Bitly link or whatever, and it's like, yeah, here's where you can get all my offer codes. And yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So Powerwash in VR and I bought that what was that one we said we might both play, James?
The Foundation. Have you actually
the
bought
Foundation one? Yeah. So I bought both of those, and yeah, both. I just went in the reviews, found a link, used someone else's 25% off code, and then went to my mates and were like, oh yeah, if you're getting Powerwash Sim, use this, and straight away a mate used it. I got £4, he gets 25% off. It's a fucking joke. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder they're losing money constantly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to ever pay full price for a Quest game at the moment.
Have you tried the Foundation yet, Sean?
I haven't. No.
I'm interested.
Yeah,
But,
I'll give it a go, and then I'll give you a verdict, because it sounds like it's a similar thing to Red Matter.
Reviews haven't been great.
They've been sort of mixed, haven't they?
Yeah, sounds like the story is the main thing with Foundation, like, and it's a bit more varied. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it from you?
I think that is it from me. Yes.
Let's hear from Matt. Matt's actually been playing games this week.
I know, it's been amazing.
What a turn of events.
I said to Jill, look, I've got a lot of work to do, and I need to get it done for the Game of the Year show. So I need to really, get my head down.
Honestly, I went a few weeks ago. I was saying about how empty my Game of the Year list is, and actually, I look at it now and go, "Whoa, mama! It's going to be a big year for Game of the Year. It's going to be a big one."
Yeah,
You
there's
lot
a lot
still
on
haven't
there.
played Baldur's Gate 3.
Exactly.
Sort it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've only just started Modern Warfare 3, so who knows where that's
Sorry, it'll
going.
be done in
Go
a
on.
couple of hours. according to the review.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, so basically I finished Cocoon finally. In fact, I finished Cocoon and Jusant on the same day. So what a day that was. Yeah, finally finished Cocoon. Really glad I did. It's absolutely brilliant. And
I'm still chipping away at that.
Yeah,
Have you
I'm
not
glad
done
I.
it? Yeah, it's
No,
oh
not
my
done
god,
it.
the ending to that is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the puzzles, not
The puzzles are
there's no
so
story
good. I'm
there.
like, okay. I mean, yeah, it's not a spoiler to say there are like spheres you have and orbs and stuff, but like by the end, I'm like, okay, to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that, to do. It's just like it's layers upon layers. And it's
There's
so
one particular puzzle that got me so excited that I thought I was going to throw up. I was just like, oh my god, this is possible. It's great.
It's fucking excellent. I think the one thing that kind of didn't. I mean, I thought it was a fantastic game. Not sure what I'll give it review wise, but like story wise, there is a story, I'm sure, but it's just like it's so abstract that
I don't know
just
if
didn't
there
really.
is.
Okay, well, I would have wanted more of a story to this, but that's the only thing that's kind of letting it down for me.
The one criticism I've heard from people is like, absolutely loved it, start to finish, haven't thought about it since. Because it leaves you nothing to think about.
The thing of these kinds of games, and this is why people who works on Limbo and Inside, the things that these kinds of games often make me love the most is story and soundtrack. And I feel like I couldn't recall a single song or bit of the soundtrack and no
for
story.
me, it was puzzles and atmosphere. Like there are certain puzzles that stick in my
atmosphere,
head,
100%. But I feel like music's such a
atmospherically,
key
it's
part of that, and it had some, but I couldn't recall any, and no
also,
story.
Those fucking boss fights, man, were fucking brilliant. Like some of them are ingenious. Like really good.
Yeah,
stuff.
one of them I struggled loads. Not because I didn't know what to do, just because I kept fucking up. Basically, I kept
Which
pressing the
one?
wrong, like the one where you
was it the flying one?
It's one where you press the button and you switch position between. That you was
Right,
like
okay,
because I kept thinking, okay, brilliant, it's there now, and I like would flip into the enemy. Like I don't know, I felt like I had to like press a button to like do the attack when if you're like the ball, whatever it is, then you do attack automatically. So I go there, brilliant, do attack, bang, click the button, and I'll just instantly get eaten by the boss. That's just me being an idiot. But I'm so glad I played it. Absolutely fantastic. But I feel like as fantastic as it is, it just like lacks soundtrack and story, the things that I love for these kinds of games the most. But whatever.
Yeah.
Still good, even with all that. I continue. I'm still playing Alan Wake 2. I'm still only like chapter 3 or maybe 4, and so that's the next thing I'm focusing on now.
I've started getting clips of that game pop up in my TikTok, and there's a musical bit that I was like, I thought was a joke when
Oh
I
yeah,
first
this is
saw it,
probably the bit
but
I
then
don't
I've
know
seen
about. But everyone's
several.
like, this is the bit which I.
Yeah,
Is that the
this
bit
is-
you were
yeah.
referring to recently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
God,
this
I'd
is
love to know.
what I found interesting is the people I know who are playing it. They're like, why aren't more people talking about how funny it is?
Right,
Like it's
right.
apparently there is loads of genuinely really funny stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also quite scary.
Yeah.
So, like, it's happened when I play Resident Evil, but I genuinely got like the chills playing this game, and where I just have a whole kind of weird chilly feeling. And it's only when I was doing a boss fight. It wasn't like I wasn't like stuck to my chair with fright, but for whatever reason, it did something that made me think, oh god. But even without that, I just think this game is cool as fuck. Like I just love everything about it, really. Like the way it's telling me the story, the way you work out the story by using the pinboard and getting clues and working at, trying to understand the other kind of characters. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the dialogue between like the first character you play is Saga, who's like the cop with Sam Lake as her detective, buddy, and I think the dialogue between them two is great. It's so engaging, it's so interesting. It feels like a TV drama. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played as much as I like, but this is the thing I'm focusing on now that Jusant and Cocoon are done. But I just think, just like I loved Control, even with its some of the control issues, and it's definitely a bit at the end, I still thought Control was cool as fuck with like the way it's telling the story, the kind of themes of the story. And I think this is doing it the same, but in a different way. And having not played the previous ones, I'm just, even in my short time playing this, I'm probably like 4 hours in, I'm absolutely fucking loving it. So even though it's pretty frightening at points, I'm going to continue on. One point, I was like, oh, if I stop now, I may not go back to it during this boss battle. But I was like, no, you just got to push through because you're inside woods. It's like pissing down rain. There's like
Wish you were
I wasn't
streaming
getting
this, Matt,
chased,
so
but
much. I wish
What's
you
that?
were streaming this. I'd love
Yeah.
this.
I did think
Streaming
this will
horror
probably be a
games is
good
the
one.
best.
This will be a good one to stream, but no.
I do wish
I'm gonna have to watch Resident Evil 2 stream again. That was the one.
I do wish, because I know it's got difficulty settings. I do wish
Yes.
it had like full-on baby mode, like Control did.
I mean, this has got a story mode. I bet that's. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
what that
Control was
is.
like one hit kills, you're invincible. Fucking who cares, right? And that was how I really enjoyed like the last sort of third of the game. So I was like, I just want to see the story now. Like, and again, I'm enjoying the world and the story and everything about it. I was starting to find the game a bit frustrating because I was bad at it. And yeah, that allowed.
Well, I
me to see
definitely
it
knocked
through,
down
but-
Control's to Control's. I mean, maybe that was story mode. I don't know, but I definitely knocked the difficulty down on Control. That's for sure. But this, I mean, one thing I'm loving, or I can't wait to see with this, is once I finish this game, and then watching like YouTube like explains, oh, this is a reference to that. That's a reference, because I know this game's probably full of things that I don't get on the surface level because I didn't play the previous games and the Control DLC. But I know there's gonna be loads of that. It's gonna be really cool to look out. But no, it's a fantastic game. James, have you played any more? You said you're going to come back to it after Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, and no, because I've been playing. I played Jusant instead, but then this is my next game I'm going to be playing. I think is
this is my next focus. I just think it's a cool as fuck game, and I can't wait to play more. And I played more Super Mario Brothers Wonder on the way to London and back, and yeah, still great. I've got nothing more to say really. Still good.
Yeah, I've been playing that a lot more this week, and I'm very much enjoying it. Yeah, it's a good game. Good
Just,
game.
Final thing on Alan Wake, because I've decided I'm going to try and play Alan Wake 2.
Oh
Excellent.
yeah.
Because Chris has bought it, so via Game Share, I also
Very good.
now have it. And yeah, but I've never played the first one, so I was like, I know, I'm going to watch a full recap of the first game while I've got a really bad fever.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
God, that was a bad time. Don't
yeah,
know why I did that.
I watched a couple of like 12-minute recaps of the whole like series up to now, but not necessarily just the first game. But
Because
the
there was that
recaps have
second one,
Alan
wasn't
Wake.
there? There was, what was it called? Nightmare.
There's American Nightmare.
American Nightmare. yeah.
American
And then,
Nightmare.
but basically, most of the recaps are like Alan Wake 1, American Nightmare, and the Control, all to
There
the
was
world
also
of
that
Endor.
TV series they did as well, like Bright Falls, which was like that. I think that came like with the original Alan Wake. Like they had I think it was on Xbox 360. They like on the marketplace they had like episodes you could download to watch, like full episodes of things. It was quite interesting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that it, Matt?
That's it for me.
Then there's only one game left to talk about in front of me, James. What do you want to say about WarioWare Move It?
Well, I've not played very much of this, which is why I didn't really put it down on my list because I've only played it for like, I don't know, about half an hour. But I kind of got immediately fed up with it and didn't want to play anymore. But it's because, okay, it's another motion controlled WarioWare game, which Smooth Moves was all right from what I remember.
Oh, Smooth Moves was amazing.
Yeah.
That was so much. Like, I mean, it was, it benefited from being like one of the earlier Wii games.
Yeah, for
And it
sure.
was everyone's coming round and we're doing doing stupid poses with it or whatever. Oh, I'm an elephant. Great stuff. But yeah, maybe hasn't aged that well. I don't know.
But what's put me off with this is that for every sort of sequence that you go through, it teaches you a new pose that you've got to do. And each time there's usually about 2 or 3 new poses you've got to learn. Some of them are quite similar to each other, which is a bit annoying. But what is irritating about it is they don't just like show you do this pose on the screen. It comes up with this massive long kind of like story like kind of thing to like explain what this pose is and like where it's come from and all this. And I'm like, this is really like it feels sort of antithetical to what WarioWare is, which is supposed to be like straight in, fast action, chuck it at you, and it's like they don't do that, and it feels that, and that's the main problem I've got with this is that it doesn't feel immediate enough at all to. And I was thinking about playing it with the family, and I just thought they're just going to get fed up with this, like with these constant pauses to like explain what you're supposed to be doing. And it just doesn't feel good, like at all.
Because Smooth Moves kind of did the same thing, but it was just a very quick, like, hold it like that. It was like a demonstration of someone holding it a certain way or whatever, and then there was like a bit of funny text, and then that you'd only see that once, right? And that was it.
I mean, yeah. To be fair with this, it probably is only once that you're gonna see it, but it's still. For me, it was enough to be just like, oh.
It sounds like it's a longer thing than it was on Smooth Moves as well.
And and like I got to the next one, it was like, oh, there's like 3 poses for this one. I was like,
see that's bollocks because Smooth Moves only ever introduced one at a time, right? So,
but this it does multiple ones for each one, and I just didn't feel, I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, I probably will go back to it and play some more. I mean, it's supposed to be very short.
The only thing I've heard about this game is that Wario's voice is noticeably different now.
And it absolutely is. Like Mario's voice was different, obviously, with Mario Wonder, but this is noticeably, like very noticeably different. And I was saying before, he sounds much less creepy and seedy, which is a shame.
Really?
I think it doesn't sound as
We're
like
really
as...
missing out now, aren't they?
Hello, everybody. I'm Wario.
Yeah.
Enjoy my game and let's have some fun. Yeah, weird. This transition has not been as smooth as I thought it would be. Yeah, it's a strange one. Sorry, I do apologise as well, James. You've also got Spider-Man 2 written down.
And Mario Wonder, yeah.
Yeah, but we've spoken about Mario Wonder.
Yeah, I didn't say anything because you were going through the whole thing. So
railroaded.
Yeah,
you can just say, "Oh, hello, Mario
I
Wonder."
know, but
here.
I didn't. Matt was in full flow, and I didn't want to like interrupt him.
Okay.
Yeah,
no one wants to get involved, get in the way of Matt in full flow.
Yes, that's happened so often, doesn't it? Well, what have we got to say about Super Mario Wonder, James?
I mean, I finished it. I finished like all the levels that that you can do with like all the stars and all that kind of thing. And I still think it's brilliant. I really think it's brilliant. And I mean, I would say it's the easiest 2D Mario game I think I've ever played. Like it really didn't take very long. Like usually, like with the last one of these that I played, I think was New Super Mario Bros. U, which took me ages to like get everything in that. This one I did it like in a week, like quite quickly. It's not terribly difficult, I don't think. Mostly because once you get to the thing that I was most bothered about was I thought, okay, we're going to get to like the secret area where they have the actual like hard levels. And I was expecting there was going to be like a whole series of those, but there's hardly any. Like there's only 6 like really difficult levels, and they're not particularly hard.
Are they 5 stars or 4 stars?
They're 5 stars. Yeah, they're all 5 stars. And there's one of them which I found difficult. But the rest of them were all just like, yeah, this is not terribly hard. But I'm not complaining about that because it was still a brilliant experience and very enjoyable. I mean, at the moment, I'm still playing this because I'm grinding at the moment for purple coins, which is a ridiculous thing to have to do. But it's because I made a terrible mistake earlier in the game, which is that you have like those standees that you can you
Is it
can
not worth
buy
buying
those.
them?
But the thing is I'm gonna tell you this, Matt. If you're
I
ever going
bought
to
a
do this,
couple, but I haven't really spent much more money on them because I thought, am I gonna? Because it's a bit. Sorry, you can go in a minute, but it's a bit like in Kirby where you
can
got
go in
all those the things you buy, like the collectible models, and I was spending more money on them to try and hit all 140 odd, but.
so that's
Standees
what
now?
happens because earlier in the game, like if you buy them from the shop or whatever, it's random, like whatever you get.
Yeah.
And so I ended up spending a lot of money thinking, okay, I just need to keep doing this until I get the ones I want, and it'll be fine. But then I didn't realize that once you get to the secret area at the end of the game, there's a shop which is just like every single one that you buy will be a will be a unique, so that you
Oh.
don't,
Okay.
it doesn't.
But does
so
that
it's
one
like-
cost more money?
Yeah, it costs 30 rather than 10, but just like don't spend your money until you got to that area. It's what I
Right,
would say,
okay.
because otherwise it's all gone.
Yeah,
And-
I basically, if I ever go to a shop, I buy kind of the stamp, or I buy the badge, sorry, and then I would often buy one of the other currency things, and that's it. I wouldn't buy anything else other than that, really.
But it's simply brilliant. I really enjoying it. I think it's fantastic. And then
Cool.
I finished Spider-Man 2 as well, which
Yeah,
I
that's a
love
good
from
game,
start
that.
to finish. Yeah, it's
That's a good game.
it's
How do you
very
feel?
good.
How do you think that compares to the other two? Better, worse? Like David, unsure.
See, I kind of enjoyed it more. I would say maybe not more than Miles Morales, but I certainly more than the first game. I thought it's I really liked it.
What about that last MJ mission though? Eh?
Yes, I mean that's
Didn't see that coming, did you?
no, yeah, that it was kind of
Pretty
Gears of
mad,
War.
that, innit?
It went a bit Gears of War,
yeah,
didn't it?
it went a bit Gears of War.
Yeah.
Dear.
Very
Good
good
game.
worm.
Right, we are really running long, which is fun. Do we do any questions? What do you reckon?
Don't know.
Well,
So
we
we
just
come back
shelve
to
them for
questions
next
next week.
Yeah.
Should we do
So-
like
saves
New
Wow.
game
one?
heavy episode.
Should we do one?
Do we do one?
Yeah.
This
why
will
not?
be a really quick one.
Pick a really
Kraboff-
long, convoluted one.
MD Kraboff says the 30th anniversary issue of Edge has listed the best 100 games released during its existence. Would a similarly styled TCGF top 10 be an easy job?
That sounds like a great
No.
episode.
Surely not. Take us ages.
I'd love to do one though,
That sounds like a
Would be
great
fun.
episode we should do.
where
would
we
be
try
quite
and collect 100. Yeah, the top 10, 100, top 10, 100 games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like
Of all
MD
time.
Kraboff said top 10, but yeah, could we do a top 10 in the games released just
No,
since
you'd have to do
TCGF
100.
started?
Do 100.
Well, top 100 would literally take hours and hours and hours
Yeah.
in order.
What's-
Well, maybe
why-
it'd be,
I mean, that
it'd be a
sounds-
series.
That sounds like no. You're trying to you're turning it into a series now. I
Actually,
reckon
this
the
is
one.
Well, no, no, what we're
could be
having about how
19
long
hour
would a-
It's not like Matt
Episode
trying to
take-
drag something out.
How long? Well, you're saying one episode we do 100 games in order?
Yeah,
That
well,
would take like 24 hours probably. Something
That's
Yeah,
stupid.
right.
we'll end up killing each other.
If we did top 10 of stuff that's
Did you
come
just
out,
say we'd make a killing? Did you just say that, Sean?
No, I said we'd end up killing each other.
Oh, I thought you said. I thought you like one of the most arrogant things I've ever heard ever. You're like, yeah, but we'd make a killing out of that. I mean, you're
That'd be
right.
Rich as fuck, mate.
Yeah. Sorry, James. What are you saying?
no, I think if we did like a top 10 of games that have come out since this podcast was launched, that'd be more doable and possible. Because then we
Yeah, but
we
that's
don't have
not
to have all
fun.
that like Mario 64 and like all
Well,
those.
what I was going to say,
you know,
'cause
those,
isn't the
you know-
more interesting thing to talk about the games that came out before the podcast started?
Exactly.
Because
I
we
want to
talked about
do a
them.
top 100 games of all time.
Mm.
where we've got
Okay,
to
you're
try
right.
and
So, yeah,
piece
so that is
together in the
different
right
to this
areas.
then.
I don't want to talk because it's always the same games that everyone endlessly talks about. I
But
think it's
we're four people that we're not everyone. We're four people.
But surely
that
it's
you
more
can
interesting to
correct
do
that.
just since 2016. That's a much more interesting
Do you
thing
know
rather
what?
than.
Do you know what really fucks me off about James? Right,
cool.
like
Well, hang on. I
I-
thought you said we're running long.
he goes, oh, do you know what? I won't like it because it'll be all the games that everyone likes. Well, what do you want? What else do you want?
because
You
those
want just
no,
games that-
you're again. It's because those conversations have been had so many times, like
Yeah.
over these games, that I just think
Right.
it'd be quite interesting to do it with stuff that's more recent, and then and look at it that way.
Okay, so top 100 games of the year. Should we do that? Let's do that.
No, just look, the top 100 games since 2016.
Okay, since 2016. This
yeah.
is-
How
just
long have we
seems
got
so
until,
pointless.
how long have we
though.
got until games have been around for 100 years?
Oh, wow.
Good question. Well,
That's
when did
gonna
they
be-
first come out? Like they
It's
come out in the 70s,
1960s,
wasn't it?
wasn't it? I
When
think
did
because it was
Pong
Space
come
War
out?
was the.
Oh, Space War, yeah.
So we might live to see. I mean, we'd be fucking unlucky, but we might live to see the 100-year anniversary of video games.
Yeah, and then we'll do a pod when we're
1962.
90.
Oh, 96.
James will be 200 years old at that point.
1958,
So.
Louis P says.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
all right, we'll make that. Easy.
But James will be cryogenically frozen at that point. We'll have to thaw him out. Say, James, we thawed you out. Why? Have we solved world hunger? No,
Oh, wait a
because we
minute.
need to do a
No,
pod.
we've got to do podcast.
It's not
Oh, for
1958.
fuck's sake, boys.
Come on.
Well, it wasn't
right.
1958. It was 1952. It's,
Ooh.
yeah. it was a
Ooh.
game before
What
that.
was 52?
I
It was a
invented
game
the
called
shoe.
OXO or OXO because it's tic tac toe basically.
Enter
but
the
like
Dragon,
digitally.
not-
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Cool.
So there's a bit of an argument going on about when video games started. Should we end this one? Let's end this
Alright.
pod.
Yeah.
Right. Matt, let's get to socials.
oh, it's me, isn't it?
Is you?
Let's scroll down the old document. Oh, yeah, so Thursday, it says here, nah.
It does say now. Well, we've got a charity stream to prep for, so
So nah,
Good point.
no
Nah.
streams. Okay, no stream on Thursday, but James, are you streaming on Friday?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'm in a bit of a rut at the moment with this, and I don't know what to do.
Oh, you were
it's-
saying in the chat, yeah, you don't know
Mm.
what to do.
Yeah, it's difficult. And I mean, you see, I want to finish Star Trek, but I don't know if I want to stream it because I don't think it's very interesting for anybody that's watching, and or
don't
for
want to see
me.
it through though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, but I think
And that
it may even
FMV
take.
game that you said you were going to do, you're not
Yeah.
doing that.
No, I will. Which one? The one
The-
that we saw
the-
on the video.
Courtroom
Yes.
one, yeah.
Yeah, I could do that, but I need to organise that.
It's a, yeah, faff to just
Organise
get
it
it
then.
running, right?
Well, maybe nothing this week because you are streaming on Saturday. We are doing a Seeability Game for Change charity stream Saturday night at 9. We're doing Come Mine
please come
with
to
Me.
that. Please come to that. I know it's a Saturday night and most of you are out in discos,
Oh, the heck.
but I'm just
Disco clubs,
saying,
disco techs.
please come to that stream because we want it to be a big success. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Saturday
9
night.
PM.
9 p.m. Twitch.tv/TCGS code. We'll just search for TCGS in the app. We'll be live there. Please come and watch us play Come Mine With Me. Probably need to do some prep for the week actually on that. But yeah, probably no stream on Thursday or Friday, but come on Saturday night for the biggie. If you missed them live, you can watch them on YouTube after. Search for TCGS on YouTube. We've got Amazon Prime and you've got a Twitch account. Connect your accounts. You've got Twitch Prime Gaming. And with that, give you one free sub every single month that you have to give to a channel of your choice. Why not give it to our channel? That should be your choice to give it to our channel, and we really appreciate that. Patreon.com/TCGS is the Patreon to support what we're doing over here, live monthly Twitter Patreon streams, the bonus podcast, other stuff to support what we're doing, and the website is tcgs.co for everything else.
Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week for some more non-award winning video game chit chat.
Almost forgot about that then.
Yeah, well, thanks for living it. Goodbye, everyone. Love you. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Goodbye.